you want but don't have, but you write them down anyway, hoping that one day you will get them. Now you can write those things down and think about how to get them. But if you don't have a process, nothing ever happens. You can have a grand idea. This is the strategy. I want to get these things, blah, blah, blah. I want to achieve a certain goal. But without a process of execution, a process of breaking down this strategy or plan into actionable things, little actions that link the chain together and eventually get you to your process. It's like going on a walkway. If anybody has ever been to the Kakum walkway or the one at Bunsu or in the Kintampo area, the walkway really hangs, say, amongst two trees, right? The walkway is between two trees. Now, between one tree and the other tree, there are things that have been put together. So the wooden slabs and then the net and rope and all of that. Your starting point is your wish list. Now, the end is that objective. The strategy is to get across. But how do you get across? That is the process. By taking little steps, one after the other until you get to the end. So whatever the grand plan is, if there's no process to that plan, it will not come together. As we wrap up the week and as we think of starting another week in a few days, let's chew on this. Strategy without process is a little more than a wish list. Wise words coming from Robert Philek, and that's our business sense for the morning. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Business sense brought to us by ADB, the People's Bank, ADB Truly Agric More. The newspaper review comes up next. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Meet Mr. Ansar. He prefers to receive money from his friends and loved ones through the Agricultural Development Bank's remittance services, and his reason is simple.
Oh, for me, my brother lives overseas and he often sends me money. I can access it at any ADB branch nationwide, and what he sends is exactly what I receive. No wahala.
Is that why you prefer ADB's remittance services?
Of course. Well, whether it is Western Union, MoneyGram, ZPay Instant Money, Unity Link, Real Money Transfer, or Transfast, receiving my money through ADB's remittance services is guaranteed. And with some of these services, you can receive the money directly into your ADB account. Do you know what the best part is?
Share with us.
I can receive it at any ADB branch or selected branches on Saturdays and holidays. So my brother, you see, if you go somewhere else and you don't receive payment on time, all I can say is woko yeah.
Visit any of ADB's 87 networked branches nationwide, whether you are a customer or not, for the best in remittance services. ADB, Truly Agric and More.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
This is Citi 97.3.
The same got to moon, I'm a sissy. Yakwami Kubi, Yaba, Meba, Namina, Second, Yamakonta, cause we are Simobi, show, baby. Timmy, you my den, I'm a tipe. Abang, met so many chilipi, and Sadika, Creevy, Bimboni me. Friday, Bakubi, Nama Club, Minamaya, Bakuya, Nama Choke. One corner, one Ghana. So, what's the Asia that I am? I brand to my bro, Minan Kamada, but music, I'm a very no about. I'm a very no about. Jenny Pana Kamani, Jenny Pana Kamenu, Kakiti give me the shabby, and Kakiti getting me the shabby. Jenny Pana Kamani, Jenny Pana Kamenu, Kakiti getting me the shabby.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah, in the highest. Now I am my sin and your nyame. All by your mercy and your grace, I am grateful. You've turned my life around. Now I'm a shining star.
Yeah, I say by this time I'm daddy. Me this cow, me go to but I'm a planning. I know what I could do more routine I have me. Di ma teme kame kuti bona babe kame. Boka ma sam de bia minte. Mene oka na se minte. I'm focused. The best I'm own boss. And chen on nothing. I be boss and ben I'm ante. They say my songs be a real one crown. And so mean till be a just 7 crown. I know go round from me. Today them say they be. Nani na me da say. Mama ta phone cause I say. Teni pano kamani. Teni pano kamenu.
6:33. Music by Famia. Of course, this one praise. It's one of my favorites on my playlist. I go round, and then I come to this one.
Praise the Lord.
Newspaper review comes up next, brought to us by Total Energies, Marketing Ghana PLC. They've introduced quartz engine oil. If you want your car to run well, if you don't want it to cough and jerk and all of that, then you need to give it quartz engine oil. That's what Godfred and Richard have been using. You should see them driving around, very happy in their cars, because they keep giving their cars the best engine oil on the market. Choosing quartz from Total Energies, choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz keep your engine younger for longer. If you live and work at Oyarifa, there's good news for you. Fidelity Bank has opened a brand new branch there, so they are closer to you. Visit our new branch today at the Owusu-Ansa Junction at Oyarifa to enjoy a range of top-notch banking services and experience superior customer service in a delightful and inviting environment. We look forward to serving you. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. Let me say good morning to Richard. Good morning to Godfred. Guys, how are we doing?
Doing well.
Yeah.
We are inside the system.
You are inside.
Yeah, we are inside.
You are inside the matrix.
Charlie. We are not lost in the system yet.
The system cannot get us like that.
Some way.
The system cannot
Get us like that.
So we are inside.
You fight the system.
I blame Glomeria. I caught us and say you call it with You know, when you go to the beach side, they crab like creatures you see, they dig small holes. They are saying that it is, strong chest. That's what they used to, reside along the shores. Because the way the system had,
you need strong chest.
Because the waves, when they come like that, they can throw you away.
Yeah, so
but the waves will come, go, and then they
still
All right.
People in Parliament this week,
Charlie. Sometimes our people, I don't know what happens. You have passed a law, for instance, yesterday. You passed a law. That law, according to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is given the power to determine what you have done is right or wrong. The Supreme Court says you did not do it well. So what do? Go back, just cure the mischief, and everybody is happy. What is this thing about blasting the Supreme Court left, right, and center when they simply told you that you did not do what the Constitution says you must do? I think we should have respect for, each other in this country. Let's respect our mandate.
The arms of government.
It is okay to criticize the Supreme Court, but the way sometimes our politicians do it, they create a certain impression of lack of respect, and that is not good. If we have disputes, that's where we will go to. So even when you disagree, you should be respectful in your engagement or how you actually criticize them. Blasting the Supreme Court, these of you didn't know what they are doing and all of that, it's not the best. They say you pass a law to do Bekwi in this country. The Bekwi law is not properly. So just go back.
Fix the thing. Let's do a Bekwi.
So that, those of us who are minded to,
participate.
We'll do so within the limits of the law.
Yes, without attacking the people. Please,
Anyway, let me take it to the front page of the Daily Graphic. 6 more jailed for secession, caged 26 years. There's a photo of Godfrey Adami, the Attorney General. Minority boycotts Parliament to support colleagues in court. All kinds of tactics being employed. And this story, we sold our destiny. Breri Niase community cries after losing livelihood to company. Very, very sad story. I'll give you details.
The Ghanaian Times says Ghana's prisons congested, holds 4,972 more prisoners nationwide. Whoa. There's 2 more to decongest the prison. And some of the people are there for petty crimes and all kinds of things. We should do some reforms to get them out. Let me take you to another story that says prosecution of NDC MPs. Minority boycotts Parliament to support members in court. Yep. An evangelist prophetess jailed 11 years for stealing 265,000 Ghana cedis. Evangelist and prophetess.
Let me take you to the front page of the Republic Press. In the MPP flag bearer race, they say Alan bounces back. It goes somewhere as new campaign strategy gains endorsement. NDC MPs boycott sitting. That makes it to the front page of the paper. Efri Akoto is also busy campaigning with delegates. Education Ministry to probe high failure rate in teacher licensure exams. And Hajia for Real's hopes dashed as court denies her freedom. I'll give you details.
Apparently, she went on social media to say she was coming to Ghana. Now, the Chronicle says this morning that Parliament shoots down Supreme Court Bonsam Tower verdict. Bonsam. Chachu Dame feud rages on. This matter is not ending today. And Judge tells counsel, this is not Parliament for you to heckle each other. Oh.
Well, from there, let me take you to the front page of the Herald newspaper this morning. Says Peter Mewu abandons railway ministry, chasing after Alan Martin for running mate slot. Interesting. UK government gets Ghana's National Cathedral designer to resign over sexual assault reports by 3 women. Comes to the photo of David J on the front page of the paper. NDC questions Attorney General's obsession with Kwesin, Opuni, and forcing. And this one, rape allegation hits the Ghana Armed Forces. 2 officers recalled from Lebanon.
The Finder says this morning, vetting report ready on Monday. Committee rejects claims of special treatment for some candidates. And the photograph of the Honorable Osei Bonsu Amoa is here on the front page of the Finder. Also, I will win. Swing regions for the NPP. Alan Chemanting is still on his campaign tour. And the government needs to balance increased revenue generation with business-friendly environment. Investors quoted here. And a 12-year-old has been reported as needing some $10,000 for hole-in-heart surgery.
I'll take you finally to the front page of the Daily Guide, and it's Dr. Baomi on the front page, smiling. I'm best to lead NPP. That's it.
And let me take you to the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher. The big story says, why Etiwa East loves Abena. Hey. This story. Why Etiwa East loves Abena. That's the big story.
Yes,
that's the lead story.
Ghanaian publisher's biggest story this morning.
Disqualified aspirants can appeal, according to Obi Amwa. Baumia calls for clean campaign. Minority snobs Parliament joins Atoforsen and Kwesin in court. And Alan's boy kneels and begs delegates.
Okay. If you go online, citynewsroom.com says trial of 3 NDC MPs, clear case of political witch hunt. That's according to Okujeto Ablakwa. MPP's presidential vetting committee to present reports on July 10, and some of the papers have mentioned that. The 8th Commission is clarifying we are not against anti-LGBTQ bill. And NDC lawyers Jab Godfrey Dame try number 1 JB Dankwa cases daily 2. And Buffer Stock Company to hold crunch meeting over debts owed food supplies. They've been sleeping there. They've slept there for 3 nights and 2 days, and they say they want their money from the government. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, agribusiness players urge to find actions 2. Increase food production. GIPC CEO highlights green investments as key to attracting global attention. And GIPC CEO again urges enhanced public-private partnerships to propel economic growth. Okay. If you go to citisportonline.com, there are some stories there. Friye Barnier has scored twice for his Swiss team FC Zurich, and there are videos there. We are still in celebratory mood. Dr. Opoku entry after UCC's triumph at the FASU Games. I hear they did well in the basketball. Another transfer story is Andy Kumi is gone to Serbia, and Ampem Dakwa ladies, their opponents have been determined. They take on a team from Niger and Togo in the WAFU Zone B qualifiers for the CAF Women's Champions League. If you go to myjoyonline.com, Alan Chematin says, elect a flag bearer who can win in swing regions. Okay, who can win the presidency? And he says he can win the swing regions. Volta region poised to take advantage of AFTA, and Doma Hene unfit to remain in office as High Court judge. That's according to Ernest Owusu Bempa. And if you go international, the BBC says the 3 ways Ukraine's counter-offensive can go. So it looks like the Ukraine-Russia episode here is still on. And Amazon deforestation down by 1/3 in 2023. That's according to the Brazilian government. And Twitter,
that's a good indication. Yeah.
Twitter threatens legal action over Threads app. So the war between
when you
Zuckerberg,
look at the 2 apps, look,
Zuckerberg
in my
and Musk.
respectful view, it does seem that Facebook people, they have some questions to answer. The Meta people, because the thing looks too similar. I mean, no reasonable man looking at the 2 apps would say that there's a lack of difference. It would seem, with the greatest respect to whoever
we appreciate this legal opinion. But Elon is doing there, we are going somewhere.
Have you downloaded that?
Not yet.
That's why I appreciate the point he makes. That competition, great, but cheating
is not good.
Yeah, or let me modify that. Alleged cheating is not good. Yeah, and I don't think that this is a matter of a moron in a hurry. If you look at the 2, look, I took a photograph of a screenshot of my
Twitter
page,
and then this one,
and then my Meta. What's the name of that?
Threads.
You know, I signed on the first day it came, and when I compare the 2. Charlie, no.
Okay. Let's give you details to some stories.
Yes.
I'll start from page 13 of the
Where do you
Daily
want to take
Graphic.
us?
Yes, there's a story there, community story, but very, very, very interesting. We sold our destiny. Breniase community cries after losing livelihood to company. A narration of how a foreign company acquired thousands of hectares of land from the people of Breniase in the Oti region for a bargain price has left participants in the National Symposium shocked, compelling a call for assistance for renegotiation for the landowners. The company, known as Heracles Oil Palm Company from Cameroon, reportedly acquired the land for palm oil plantation in 2008 as an agreement to pay the farmers $5 per hectare for a period of 50 years. Wow. Before they signed the agreement, the company reportedly had promised that it was going to pay them some lump sums for their land in addition to the $5 per hectare agreement. That, however, did not happen. Quote, "We have sold our destiny and now carrying our death warrant. Wherever we go," a warrior landowner, Johannes Kofibi, said at the symposium organized last Wednesday. It was done by Caritas. Now, Mr. Kofibi said the 86 landowners were first hosted at a hotel where they were given 20,000 Ghana cedis to share and asked to sign the documents to lease their lands, which they were made to understand will later become beneficial to them. He said the farmers, however, lost their livelihoods thereafter and were not even allowed to enter their lands to fetch firewood, medicine, or hunt, because the company now owned the lands. Mr. Kofibi said although they agreed to lease their land, they made a mistake by not being diligent enough, thereby signing what is being called their death warrants. And I hope some authorities can go and look into this and help them. Although they have signed away the land, maybe some renegotiation can take place, because Charlie, 20,000 Ghana cedis to be shared by 86 people. And then after that, $5 per hectare for a period of 50 years.
Yeah,
come on.
There are serious social, economic, and legal issues there.
Oh, Charlie.
You know, I don't know. We'll have to
get
find out
into
the
it.
specific details of what actually went on and see how, people can help them. Because I think that there are legitimate issues there, especially when their economic rights have been seriously affected, allegedly, by the acquisition. Let's stay in the space of farming, because Parliament is seeking to correct the wrongs they were said to have done in connection with Bonsam Tower, which is Bekwi. The Chronicle says this morning, Parliament shoots down Supreme Court Bonsam Tower verdict. And Maxwell Ofori, reporting for the Chronicle, says this morning that the legislature and the judiciary have collided on the law that allows for the cultivation of cannabis in Ghana for industrial and medicinal purposes, also known as marijuana or Indian hemp, and in the local parlance as Ntampi. Ntampi. We. Bonsam Tower. Bekwi, the Bekwi has not been. Bekwi is there, yes, among many more. Now, the disagreement between the two arms of government stems from the Supreme Court's recent judgment that the law that permitted the Minister for the Interior to grant an entity license to cultivate Bekwi was unconstitutional. Now, on the floor of the House on Thursday, yesterday, July 6, 2023, a bill seeking to amend the existing Narcotics Control Commission law was read for the first time and referred to the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, which has a week to report back to the House. Now, in his remarks, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford-Bagbin, indicated that the House was not seeking to review the decision of the Supreme Court, but instead to correct an error. Now, he tasked the leadership of the Committees of Health and Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to work together on the bill, which is just a section. Now, there's a quote here that says, "It is a matter that is dear to my heart personally, and I think the country is losing a lot as a result of this Supreme Court decision. We need to work expeditiously to rectify the wrong," he said. And then also we know that it was the Minister for Interior, Ambrose Derry, who took the specific proposed legislation to the House.
Let me take you to page 2 of the Republic Press quickly, staying in Parliament, and that's indicated by the Minority Leader, Dr. Kesela Tuforsin, last Tuesday. The minority in Parliament boycotted yesterday's sitting to accompany and solidarize with the MP for Asin James Chachukwesi, who is standing trial in court. Simultaneously, the Minority Leader, Dr. Atoforsin, is also appearing before the court in the ongoing case in which he is accused of causing financial loss to the state for the purchase of some ambulances. According to the Minority Chief Whip, Kwame Govensagboja, the minority stands united with their colleagues and as such will not be able to honor the business of the House today. And any other day, their members have to appear in court. This looks like it's not going to end anytime soon.
Let's still stay in that space, of course, and in connection with the ambulance matter, because there's some angle here in the Chronicle, page 3, that says, a judge tells council, this is not Parliament for you to heckle each other. Parliament is chopping stray bullets here from the judiciary. Now, by Benis Bessie, the story says, per the bar practice, 2 lawyers cannot address the court at the same time. But the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah Dame, and Dr. Aziz Bamba, counsel for Dr. Atu Forson, went against the norm. Minister Dame and Dr. Bamba both rose to their feet to address the economic and financial High Court, presided over by Justice Ifyasewa Asare Botwe at the same time. Now, in the heat of the moment, her ladyship Asare Botwe suspected that the 2 lawyers were being influenced by the members of the gallery, mostly packed by minority members of Parliament, who had come to court to throw their support behind their leader, Dr. Atu Forson. Let me make a comment. You see, I appreciate the fact that solidarity is key, right? It is okay to dispatch a few people to go and show solidarity to the leader and then also the other members who are facing criminal prosecution. But with the greatest respect to the members of Parliament who have abandoned their responsibilities to go and do this and say that they will continue this for as long as necessary, I think they are not doing this country a great service. They are not doing this country a great service because they were elected to go to Parliament and serve the good people of this country and their constituencies. They cannot abandon that responsibility when the state thinks that they can prosecute or they want to prosecute certain people. If you disagree, let's use the normal channels of grievance to address these issues. But to leave parliamentary work sitting there, to go and sit in the court, it doesn't send the right signal. You pass the laws for people to observe.
Okay.
So we should drop all prosecutions in the country. People sympathize with some of the positions they take, but look, the nation should not suffer as a result. Parliamentary business should not suffer as a result. Okay. It doesn't send the right message.
Okay, let's go to citynewsroom.com and food stock, the Buffer Stock Company is in the news. Now, we do know that in the last few days, some people are upset, really. The Food Suppliers Association are very upset with the Buffer Stock Company. Now, a visit by City News to the Buffer Stock Company shows that members of this Food Suppliers Association are still there. They've been there. They spent 3 nights, 2 days there, knocking on the doors so that their debts will be settled. Now, the suppliers were again sleeping in rough weather conditions. And this comes after 2 members of the association were taken ill on Wednesday. Now, the Agric Minister, Brian Echampong, visited the workers on Thursday and promised to liaise with the Finance Ministry to have their 2-year-old arrears paid. And during the minister's interaction, he assured them that he would revert with a payment date by this afternoon. Okay, so Belly Sofori, one of the suppliers, told City News in an interview that, quote, yes, we are still here picketing. We are sleeping until Friday. Minister of Agri came to give some assurances. He said he would have a discussion with the finance minister and plans would be put in place to ensure that we would be paid. But we told the minister that we would be waiting for him on Friday for the feedback he brings. So
it was horrible, the things.
There was a voice clip in the news of
it's horrible. I mean, I don't know, Charlie. Look, I don't know where the government has put us. It's been completely disastrous.
You let me finish this.
The pension, the bondholders, they are also agitating, right?
Yeah.
The economy has been decimated and people can't be paid. You know, it affects all of us because people owe us too. They have to pay. They are not able to pay. Because for some reason, the people who said they knew better have brought us here.
We'll get into that later on.
Let me give you the people, please. Pay the people. Yes. One from the Republic Press, one from the Herald. In the Republic Press, Hajia for Reals hopes dashed as court denies her freedom. Mona Faiz Montrash. She's been denied bail in the United States by the U.S. Department of Justice. It's a major case that is currently ongoing. She had requested the court to relax her bail conditions and allow her to return to New York. However, the court stated that they would only consider relaxing her bail if she has family ties in the United States. Now, if you go to page 5 of the Herald newspaper, David J., the renowned Ghanaian architect, according to the Herald, is reporting that he has stepped down from the UK Holocaust Memorial and Learning Centre in London after the UK government became aware of the case against him. According to a report filed by the New York Times, a spokesman for the British ministry that is overseeing the UK Holocaust Memorial and Learning Centre in London said in an email that the government was aware of the said allegations and had spoken with David J's architecture firm.
Yeah, it's a very fluid story.
It's something that they are not taking lightly over there. So,
no, not at all. Not.
Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, that's right. There are some other stories this morning.
Political stories.
Political stories. Vetting report ready Monday, quoting Obi Amwa. Now, the story in the Finder, page 2, details the story says, vetting report ready Monday. The Presidential Vetting Committee of the New Patriotic Party has rejected claims of giving special treatment to some candidates. Now, the committee stated that it gave fair hearing to all flag bearer aspirants who appeared before it during the vetting process. Now, the 9-member vetting committee is chaired by Professor Aaron Mike Okwe. Now, it goes on to give you other details. But basically what they're saying is that the report will be ready on Monday, and that if people feel that they have been disqualified, that's not to say that they have disqualified anybody yet, but there are all kinds of things being said. The Obiama is quoted, a member of the committee is quoted as saying that, if people feel aggrieved, they can appeal whatever decision that is made. And then if you go to the publisher, there is a story on page 7 saying why Itiwa East loves Abena. It's a big story.
In the Ghanaian publisher.
Yeah, the Ghanaian publisher.
Page 7.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So
those who are interested can grab a copy.
It's a very big story.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That was the newspaper review. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Godfrey. Coming up next is the City Business News.
You've started your small business and have all these big dreams, but then reality strikes and there are so many things to do at once. What you need is the Ejapa account from Fidelity Bank. The Ejapa account gives your business a boost. It comes with a range of payment and cash collection options such as GHQR, mobile money collection, and mobile teller cash collection. You will also enjoy prompt FX supply, competitive interest rate on loans, and free annual insurance cover of up to 48,000 Ghana cedis for your business, plus a waiver on service fees. It's time to do good business with Fidelity Bank.
Dial *776*0# or visit www.fidelitybank.com.gh to sign up for a Fidelity Ejapa account today, because together we are more. Terms and conditions apply.
Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, papa! Papa!
Bobo, so how be your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you. Can't feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation Movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Coming up next is the Citi Business News, brought to us by Girl. Now, what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just top up anywhere? Don't do that. Get to any of Girl's over 440 stations across the country and fill up your car with either the Super XP Run 95 or the Diesel XP. They are the best quality fuels with high performance for your vehicle. Girl, good energy. Girl, yeah, DM. Now, the Citi Business News is also brought to us by MTN. Now, have you ever wondered how to subscribe to a particular MTN service and how to view, add, or cancel your mobile subscription from one place? Just dial *175# to access and manage all your subscriptions everywhere you go. Now, let's get into the Citi Business News. Neela Telati is here with all the details.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News. It's proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and powered by our most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. I am Ni Lati. Details now. Now, businesses in the country are concerned about the high levels of job losses in both the formal and informal sectors as firms strategize to beat down the cost of operations. Recent economic conditions such as high lending rates, inflation hikes, utility tariff increment and excessive taxes have put businesses in a tough situation as they pressurize the government to ease the burden on them. The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, at its second Chamber Dialogue series, charged government to ensure the growth of the private sector by addressing the prevailing challenges in the business environment. Here is the Chamber's President, Clement Osei Amwako.
The transition from informal employment to unemployment is on average 5 times more prevalent than the transition from formal employment to unemployment. This shows that workers are being laid off and the intensity is greater in the informal sector, which employs a greater percentage of the total labor force. The formal sector, on the other hand, is cutting down on production due to costly modalities of laying off workers in the formal sector. The increased cost of doing business is also driving up inflation. These developments depict the hardship businesses are currently facing as a result of these measures. Given the potential adverse consequences of these reforms on businesses, it is crucial that business operators are well informed about the IMF program and its implication for their operation. It is equally important for them to implement measures that can effectively mitigate the negative impact on our businesses.
Clement Osei Amoakun is president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Well, economist Professor Peter Korte is advising the government to provide a breakdown of the revenue saved from the announced expenditure cuts in the upcoming mid-year budget presentation. According to him, this will help cut support from the public on government policies and programs. Citi Business News' Nashika Caesar has the details.
As the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, prepares to present the mid-year budget review to Parliament later this month, Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Korte, is calling on the government to update Ghanaians on its efforts in cutting down expenditure. He further tasked the government to provide an update on the first tranche of money received from the International Monetary Fund, as he believes this will help ensure accountability.
In the mid-year budget, how far have we come? How well have you performed? Well, there were new revenue handles. How much have you realized from this new taxes? We also want to know, in terms of expenditure, there are quite a lot of areas where there are going to be expenditure cuts. So the numbers should show how well have you performed in terms of reducing expenditure. If the additional income that has come, the IMF released $600 million, for instance. So income, expenditure, as well as what programs are we rolling out to ensure that we come out of this current situation.
Touching on the issue of taxation, Professor Peter Korte opined that it would not be prudent for the government to introduce new levies in the mid-year budget review.
That will be the last thing I will expect in the budget. I don't expect that to happen. We've introduced some already. How do we make them more efficient? How do we collect those taxes? How do we make tax administration or tax collection more efficient? And how do we broaden the tax base? We don't have to introduce new taxes all the time. We can make the existing ones more efficient by opening the informal sector. And also, there are quite a lot of nice businesses that I don't think they pay taxes. These are areas we ought to look at. The recent digitalization process to enhance tax collection.
That's economist Professor Peter Korte ending that report filed by my colleague Nashika Caesar. On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 11 cedis. The British pound lost 2 pesos and is also selling at 13 cedis 98 pesos. The euro also lost 4 pesos and is selling at 11 cedis 96 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 69 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 14 cedis 90 pesos. The euro is going for 12 cedis 55 pesos. Let's now join Gillian Hammer of Data Bank on the topic planning for retirement at age 40.
If you're age 40, you still have enough time to amass a 1 million CD portfolio, as you have around 20 years left until your retirement date. If your current job doesn't pay enough to enable you to invest the monthly amount you need to meet your retirement objectives, consider finding ways to earn money on the side. Small amounts can make a big impact. Do you know that if you can earn an extra 100 CDs per week, perhaps by consulting, teaching, or freelancing, and then you can also trim an additional 100 CDs per week from your spending habits, you'll be able to invest 800 CDs a month towards retirement. And at an average growth rate of 15% per year, you will actually hit and surpass 1 million CDs in 20 years. Remember, time is your best friend when investing towards your retirement because it gives your investments more time to grow. So don't wait for another year to pass. Start investing and invest wisely.
That was Gillian Hammer of Data Bank with the topic planning for retirement at age 40. And that's how we end the breakfast edition of Citi Business News. It was brought to you by MTN Goyle and powered by our most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. I am Ni Lati. The business news returns at 1 p.m. for the afternoon's edition. Do have a good business day.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home, where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Eight minutes after 7. We'll get into the Citi Business Edition in a bit.
Me sit in silence, sipping my liquor.
But Vodafone is asking whether you are looking for the best value data and voice offers.
This generation.
Well, look no further as Vodafone has unbeatable deals made just for you. To enjoy these amazing offers, just dial *530# and get on to any of the Vodafone Made For Me bundles. For as little as £1, Vodafone Made For Me has got what you need. This offer is especially and specifically made for you. Simply dial *530# or visit my Vodafone app to subscribe. Vodafone, further together. Now, Republic Bank says keep winning in the promo that keeps giving. Continue to make all your payments with our 4 fantastic credit cards: the Classic, the Addition, the Infinite, or the Republic Visa Business credit cards. All of that and more in the Tap to Pay credit card promo reloaded. Just tap to pay, lift the soft life we got you. Great prizes for you. You get interest, holidays, cashback rewards, global concierge services, and access to over 1 million ATMs worldwide. Or you get a chance to win a 2-day staycation at Aqua Safari. Now, this promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. Now, in life, when you find the best, stick to it. And he always insists on that best thing. Bell Pack paper tissue is one of the best things in life. Bell Pack has materials that are soft but not weak, strong but not hard, just perfect. And Bell Pack kitchen towel cleans in one wipe. One Bell Pack lasts long and saves you money. So be it pocket tissue, table napkins, toilet rolls, or kitchen towels, Bell Pack is simply the best. To be a distributor, call 0551 144 400. Bell Pack is another quality product from Belacqua. 10 after 7, let's get into the Citi Business Edition for today. We take you back to one of our insightful conversations we had during the Citi Business Festival. One of the interesting episodes we had was with Taka Awori, and she jumped into how your business can build a winning SME team. So we'll give you that on a rerun. So enjoy, pick up your notes if you missed it, take down some very good pointers, and see your business or SME turning around for major success. Coming up next is the Citi Business Edition. Enjoy.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The Citi
Welcome to another edition of the On-Air series for the Citi Business Edition. This week we're focusing on SMEs. And today we're talking about how to build a winning SME team. My guest is one of our favorites from Busara, Africa, in the person of Taka Awori. Taka, good to have you.
I'm always excited to be here with you, Bernard.
You're always up to something. Always up to something. How are you doing?
I'm well. well, busy,
Wonderful.
but well.
Helping people develop.
Yes, indeed. Bringing out the best in them as leaders.
Wonderful. And you are a people person, so your organization adds value to people.
For sure,
Wonderful.
for sure.
We want to talk about SMEs and team building. Usually when we talk of team building, we discuss big teams.
Yes.
So large organizations, they talk organizational development. But I feel SMEs, the ones I interact with, they struggle with keeping people.
Yes.
And a lot of my friends who run SMEs say, Bernard, how do I train somebody, I get him into the team, he gets all the skills, and then he disappears.
Yes.
So so maybe we need to start thinking about these small organizations and how they manage people as well.
Yes, indeed. And maybe one of the things we also need to think about is when people come and go, it's how do you institutionalize knowledge, culture, systems, processes, so that everything is not dependent on one person. And that's usually the challenge we have as SMEs. It's all about one person who has all the skills in their heads. So I think that's a key thing. We need to institutionalize, put systems in place so that as people come and go, and that will happen. That's just a reality. People come in, you can't pay them as much, they move into bigger institutions. So recognize that we're at your level. You may be a stepping stone to other organizations. You make peace with that and just make sure that you don't lose when they move on.
We've had a bit of that, and I'll ask you about that later. But let's start with definitions. When we say a winning team, what do we mean?
Okay. So it's also important to distinguish between a team and a group. And so I always say a team, a group of people who perform interdependent tasks to achieve a shared goal. So people just sitting in an office all together, that doesn't necessarily make them a team. So if they have a shared purpose and they're somewhat interdependent. So they could be functional. So the production, your whole production group here, I see, could be a team because they're all, their particular sales department, that's a functional group. Or a team could be a group that you pull together here at Citi FM to say, okay, we're having the boot camp. So we need about 4 or 5 people who are going to be focused for 5 months to plan, execute, and they may come from different departments to make it happen. That's a team that's focused around a task. So that's what we mean by a team. Now, you really asked me about a winning team, because not every team is a winning team. Some are very dysfunctional teams.
Yes.
So 3 things make a team a winning team. Number 1, they achieve sustained results. So not just results today, hey, hi, and then things go wrong and then they can't. So achieve sustained results. Number 2, they maintain team resilience. Because we recognize no matter what challenges will come. So when challenges come, how resilient is the team to be able to bounce, not just back, but forward? And the final thing, they're vital. And this is important in terms of, when I mean they have vitality, let me clarify that. It means they have a lot of positive energy. And the reason I emphasize this, Bernard, is because I've seen teams that can achieve results, but they're toxic. I mean, by the time people have worked with that team to put on a show to achieve this thing, they're burnt out, they're stressed, and they're on verge of... That's not the kind of vitality that we're talking about.
I like the resilience, because that suggests they've been through challenges.
Yes.
And they've been through fights together.
Yes.
And they're still... So it means a team... one of the ways in which a group becomes a team is also overcoming adversity together.
For sure. And learning how to do that, because that's not always self-evident.
So as I said, some of the leaders I talk to complain about different things, but have you been able to isolate some of the key challenges leaders have with teams?
Yes. Lots, for sure. But let me bring out 3 that I've seen. One of the first ones is, and I may ask you if you've had to deal with this one before, particularly given the business that you're in, is managing star players or divas who won't play nice. They don't collaborate, they're egocentric, they don't deliver, they deliver results, so we don't hold them accountable. Do you know, I remember one of the toughest questions you asked me. It could have been about 7 years ago, and you said, Taka, what do you do? And you asked me, Taka, do you watch football? And then you said, what do you do in a situation where you have one player who always scores goals, but in terms of values, he treats the other players like dirt, he doesn't share, he doesn't respect time. But they deliver results.
What do you do?
What do you do? And it's the same thing I've seen sometimes in this business. So you may have one key host or a key person.
Look, I used to be like that a lot. So usually morning show hosts are the prima donnas.
There you go.
So the MD will would not shout at you because you're the goose that lays the golden egg.
There you go.
So when sales comes with a challenge, you are always like difficult to work with.
There you go.
Programs, there's always tension. And sometimes the host can play between the two sides. So sales want to drive numbers. Programs also want audience. And then you have the host basically just incorrigible.
There you go.
But because his personality is so strong, people listen. So a lot of morning show hosts have that tendency. So I can say for many years I was...
Oh, wow.
So, and of course, as you mature into the job, you sort of get it. And then there are different ways of honing that. But so I won't even point fingers.
You can look at yourself.
I am that man.
You were that
I was that man.
You see? And it's powerful that you have matured beyond that. But many don't. So you can imagine what a headache that was at the time to manage you. Because you bring in revenue. So it keeps leaders awake at night. So that's one. So the divas, prima donnas.
Okay.
The second one is about managing conflict within the team. And there are all kinds of conflicts. There's task-based conflict, where as long as you and I are interdependent, because that's the whole thing about being in a team. So in order for me to achieve results, I need you to do X, Y, Z. So if you don't do it, then I'm drop the ball. So it's those kinds of conflicts. There's work-style conflicts. You can imagine I might be a last-minute.com type person, whereas you might be somebody who wants things done early. That might bring a conflict, but also personalities. So managing inherent conflict that comes by just having people who are different, doing different things, that's another huge stress. And what I see too many leaders do is they avoid. They just don't deal with it. So it becomes bigger issues. So that's one. That's the second. The third big one I've seen is where there's a lack of trust within the team. So little things start fostering, they become issues, then people don't trust each other. They don't share information. They don't feel like each other have their back. So you as a leader, you come and you're like, why was this thing not done? And they're like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't share information. When you start to ask, well, why didn't they share information? Why didn't you help so-and-so out? Somehow they don't trust each other. So those are some of the common challenges.
My reflection on that, for the issue of conflict, as you said, you try and deal with it when it's small before it gets big.
That's it.
So a lot of times when you notice that this could become a problem, we don't wait for it to get big. That's what I try to do. Because don't forget, I work with a team. I work with many teams, hosting a morning show for almost that number of years.
Yeah.
So one of the things is there could be conflict. Maybe this guy, he interrupted this guy during the show and he didn't get a bad... So you try and resolve. So usually when you have like a daily post-show meeting, you don't allow the issue to
fester.
Exactly.
This is it. So it's a key learning as a leader to deal with issues early.
When they are early.
When they're small.
And when they're small.
Early and small. And sometimes at the right time.
Yes.
You know, don't delay, but wait for the right time.
You're right. Because sometimes, so you need to pick the best time.
Yes.
So because there are times maybe the mood is still
too bad. Yes.
So when the person's in a good mood. And then the other thing about trust is, I feel like the most important attribute a leader needs is trust.
Yes.
So especially within my team, if they don't trust that I mean well, or that I have thought about what they want to do. So sometimes I can do something that hurts them, but because they trust me, they let it go. And I think that if I lose that's it. But that's my
sometimes, but also you have to build that trust. They have to have it amongst each other.
Yes.
Otherwise, they don't support each other. They don't have each other's backs. They undermine each other. That's why the trust becomes so important.
We're talking to Taka Awori, and we're looking at building winning teams for SMEs, but really for all kinds of companies. She's already separated or distinguished a group from a team, given the features and some common challenges that leaders face. This is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many challenges as well.
Sure.
So what should a leader do?
Okay, to get a winning team.
Yes.
Many things, but I'm going to pick out very quickly 5. So the first one is one I always sing about. It's from Jim Collins. Get the right people on the bus. When you have the opportunity, select who joins. And when you have the opportunity to select who joins the team, select well, choose well. Too often, we look just on experience and skills. We're looking at that nice CV. This one has a PhD from where, MBA from where. And yes, experience and skills and certifications matter. But you must also pay attention to values and attitudes. Culture fit. So if you're particularly focusing on teamwork, a good principle that I picked up from Patrick Lencioni is he says, look for people who are humble, hungry, and smart.
I like that.
Humble because they've managed their egos, so they're willing to collaborate and work with others. Hungry because they're eager to learn constantly. They want to make a difference. They're not just set in their ways. And finally, naturally, you want folks who they're smart.
So humble, hungry,
and smart. Patrick Lencioni.
I have to write that down.
Yeah, because these are people who always be more concerned about the greater good than their own. Yeah, so select well. Again, when we invest too much time on degrees and experience, so focus on that fit. But that also means then burnout. That if someone is not the right fit, they're not being a good team player.
They gotta go.
They gotta go. You gotta get them off the bus. So learn how to get people off the bus. So that's the first one. Yeah. Second one is about getting, let's continue with the bus metaphor, getting the right people in the right seats. Okay. I know you're such a football fan, so let me just use that football and disgrace myself. They're in the right positions. Avoid putting square pegs into round holes. And then once you've done that, make sure everybody's clear about who's doing what. It seems so obvious, but I've seen so much conflict in teams where it's like, but I thought I was supposed to do that, but you told so-and-so to do that, but this one is taking my job, he's too known, why is he doing all of that? So this avoids role conflict. But also people need to appreciate the interdependence of what they do. That becomes particularly key. How have you had to struggle with this one in terms of getting right people in the...
So I have two challenges. Because of what I do, I see people different. So I'm a morning show host.
Okay.
So I am looking for people who can help me deliver a conversation.
Okay.
Sometimes other people in the leadership are looking for different things. So one of the things we need to do is to synchronize our objectives, right? So for example, if you have a management team of a sales manager, a programs manager, a general manager, an HR manager discussing somebody to come and join me on the show, they are all solving from different parts. One of the things we try and do is to make sure you're on the same page.
There you go.
All right. Otherwise, we would all be... Because when I was in investment, I remember we had an executive committee where we're sort of choosing people to replace us. And there were lots of arguments because the secretary was looking for somebody who could do this. So everybody was looking for different people.
Yes.
So that's one. In my own choice of people to work with me, chemistry is very important. Chemistry is very important because it's very informal. So even though we're discussing national issues, you don't necessarily have to be tight friends, but it has to be
you have to flow. There needs to be, yes.
Because the cream flows to the top. So the best way to spawn good ideas is to have a conversation. So for example, during the commercial break, we're having a random conversation. Then something will come out. So I look out for those things, right? If I'm looking for a numbers guy, I don't just want somebody who's just good behind a machine and can type a lot. I want somebody who is relatable because people can feel that.
Yeah. But do you see what you therefore have? You have clarity about what you're looking for.
Oh, yes.
And too often, I find that as SMEs, we don't invest enough time in that clarity. Or if when we do, because we may not be able to afford to pay for the kind of quality we're looking for, we go for, cheap and cheerful. But really, it's not what we're looking for. And so sometimes you need to get creative. So you might decide, this is what I'm looking for. I can't afford them full-time, but maybe I could afford them part-time while they do other things.
So we're also very flexible. That's a very good point because I noticed that in the talent industry, some of the best people do a lot of things.
Yes.
So you have to create space. I mean, one of my guys is a lawyer. He's doing his law.
Yes.
Another one writes for a certain magazine globally. They're doing all kinds of things because if you want to assemble the best, and the economy we're in, you have to be flexible.
That's it.
Right? But the point is that they should also not be skiving.
Yes, you have to manage them well.
So you can't kind of say, okay, well, I'm doing this, that, and that, so I'm just going to give you 5 minutes of my time.
Yes.
When you are here, you have to be here.
Be fully here.
Because I respect you first, and then you need to respect me as well.
Yes.
So that understanding has to be there.
Yes.
So that, yes, you are not here all day.
the time, yeah.
But when you're here, you have to be
To
here.
be fully here.
Yes.
And have clear deliverables and
Yeah, yeah.
expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a whole art to managing. It's like how you manage people who work remotely.
Yeah.
It's not the same way as having them all the...
We're talking SME. My guest, Taka Awori, Busara Africa, leading self, leading others with wisdom.
Yes.
She's released a new book, Leadership in Africa, a great read, less than 300 pages, about 280 something. You need to get that book and read. Really, really insightful book. Today we're talking about building a winning team from the SME's perspective. So on principle 2, you spoke about role selection and clarity, and I shared my own views about this. You said avoid poking square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say about the second principle?
I would just say that make sure people understand the interdependence of their roles. Again, we're talking about teams. Too many people want to act again like they're the individual soul. So getting people to recognize that what you deliver, what you do will affect other people. So yes, you need to have clarity on what your role is, but understand how your role will then affect somebody else's role. So be mindful of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now let's come to the third principle.
So this is one that often we haven't been so used to, but it's around focusing on collective results.
Okay.
Now, for many of us who've been working in the formal space, we're used to holding people accountable on individual results. So continue to do that. So for instance, for you, Bernard, for each of the people that you're managing, continue to have individual objectives that you set at the beginning of the year and then you hold them accountable on that. But what I'm saying is to build a winning team, you complement that with establishing collective team results.
Wow.
Now imagine, therefore, that means you will complement the individual appraisals with team appraisals.
Wow.
So at the end of the year, and then we're going to talk through what that might look like in practice for you. At the end of the year or mid-year or actually periodically, you would be monitoring to say, as a team, how far have we gone in achieving these team objectives? That's one. But two, each person on the team then gets appraised on their level of teamwork and collaboration within the team.
That's so powerful. I was just thinking about the camera crew here.
Okay.
So there's a light guy, there's a sound guy,
Okay.
there's a floor guy, there's a director, there's a producer.
Okay.
A lot of times you notice everybody's fighting their own corner. Once the sound is great, I'm okay. Once the light is great, I'm okay. So you're right. If we said, you know what, sound is great, light is great, floor is okay, but there's something wrong with what we saw on TV.
So what would be their team objective? How would you define it?
So the show must go without any production hitch.
There you go.
The right camera angles, the right shots, right, text.
There
And there are some things that weld together. So I'm very happy you're saying this. So it means that at the end of the day, we can evaluate the whole team.
Yes.
And it's possible for individuals to also do the right things.
Yes.
But because we're not working collaboratively, you will still have a poor outcome.
If there was a hitch, then you're all responsible.
Because a good example is, let's assume the floor manager wants to bring something to the host.
Okay.
Right? And then she informs somebody up there, but doesn't inform another person behind the camera. He doesn't adjust his camera right, and then you have a problem.
Interdependence.
It's very, very critical.
Do you see?
It's very powerful.
So when but it really takes shifting their minds,
Yeah.
because as you said, most people are just focused, is my lighting right? Is the sound right? Is my camera right? Their own little thing. That's starting to say that, yes, I will ask you about the lighting, but I am also, all of you together, I'm going to say, did you achieve? How many shows went off without a hitch?
And this is very important for large organizations, like, for example, for our business. A lot of times you have tensions between programs and sales. Do you get it? Because they sort of solve for different things. One depends on the other, though.
Yeah.
So it's very important for people in programs to know that at the end of the day, it's not about how great the program is. It also has to sell.
Yes.
Right? And then the sales guys will have to know that selling is great, but there has to be a certain raw material to sell.
Yes.
There's always tension there. So it's a very, very powerful point to make.
So you know what you would add to the team objective, in addition to having flawless production, how well they collaborated with other teams. Because this is the other thing I find in organizations. You have silos.
Yes.
So you might have a fantastic, as you said, program team, fantastic marketing team, but they're not speaking to each other. But if you add it to their team objective, they will organize themselves to say who continuously has to speak to that one, who has to speak, so that you are not just having strong teams, you're also having strong teams working within other teams in the organization.
And I think that depends a lot on the leader and the tone they set.
100%.
Because if you sort of pitch people against each other, then you are making a mistake. So what you try and do is to listen to everybody and say, look, by the way, you guys are on the same team.
Yes.
And then, as you said, you give them, you assess them on collective.
Totally.
Yes, I think it's very, very powerful point.
So that's the third one, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Collective results.
Then fourth one is coach them, back to your football, coach them to play well together. And this is what you were alluding to earlier about, for instance, managing conflicts. Huh?
Yes,
that's the first one, yeah?
Yes, I think that's very important because when you work in a talent-driven team, there's a lot of strong egos.
Yeesh.
And so one of the things you learn to do is to, what's the word to use?
Uh-huh.
You diffuse.
Yes.
You don't suppress.
No.
Let people
That's
talk.
energy, yes.
But find a way of getting them to work together. I think it's actually a very strong leadership challenge.
Yes. And skill that needs to be developed, therefore.
Yes.
Facilitating.
Yeah.
Because we always say in our world that conflict is not necessarily bad. Mm-hmm. It's how it's managed. Because conflict is natural. So therefore, a key leadership skill then, as you said, is to manage it, not put it under the table. Because what I see often in many of our organizations, particularly in an African context, we like this, what do we call it? I call it fake harmony.
Yes.
Where everybody says, hey, it's okay, it's okay, we're all fine.
They're underlying issues.
You step out of the meeting room, and then there's all the gossiping in the corridor. And so I think a key skill is to bring corridor conversation on gossip from the corridor to the boardroom or the proper formal space so it can be dealt with in a healthy way. That's something that one has to do to build a winning team, as you coach them to play well.
Talking about coaching, I saw a very interesting quote about I think it's American football team, and I think the person said, good coaches have a pre-game plan.
Okay.
Great coaches do halftime adjustments. Thought
it's amazing because things happen. So you might realize I need a time adjustment to be able to deal with this issue. But you notice we're using the word coaching.
Yes.
Because there are different times where you might need to be directive as you're setting the vision.
Okay.
But when you're getting people to play well, yes, you may have to say you play this or you're out in terms of values. But there's a lot about understanding people, facilitating them, as you said, giving them space to speak, unearth issues. Otherwise, if you're just all about commanding, you push things under the table.
Are you distinguishing coaching from, say, managing? Is that what are you using coaching in a more
as a leadership? I'm using it as a leadership style.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you clearly see, if I see there's something going on with Bernard and Kojo, and then I'm not meaning you guys stop it. What will they do? They'll just cover up and they'll never let you see what's going on. But if I call them back in, a coaching style, you start with questions. Guys, what's going on? I want to hear you each. Then I ask them, how do you think you need to solve this?
Okay.
Do you see? So that's a lot more of a coaching style, which is useful when you want to get to the bottom of issues.
The question there, though, is a lot of leaders have many battles they fight.
Yeah.
So he's in charge of a small fintech.
Yeah.
He's dealing with government regulation.
I know.
The tax guys are on his neck, right? He strategized with his team and he believes they know where the business is going.
Yeah.
He says, I don't need this at this time, right? I have a big meeting with some guys who want to give us money, and my two managers can't work with each other. Like you're saying, be collaborative, coach them.
I know,
I don't
it takes
have time.
time.
Why do I have to
feeling.
stop this big deal and kind of ask the two of you like kids? You know, it's almost like...
Yeah.
I just wanted to emphasize the importance of that because a lot of leaders feel like, I don't want to waste, I don't have time for this.
Yes. And then they don't. And then it's like sharpening the saw.
Yeah.
When you have a winning team, it's like you have a sharp saw to achieve the results.
Okay.
When your people are busy fighting, undermining each other, it's like you're working with a blunt saw. So yes, I fully appreciate you're busy, it's annoying, it's irritating, but it's worth it in terms of the better use. It's worth it in the long run. Let's call it that way. In the short run, it's expensive, but it's worth it in the long run. But let me emphasize this. Remember I talked in the beginning about at some point you might need to get people off the bus?
Yeah.
You coach, but not forever.
Okay.
Not forever.
Okay.
You coach in the beginning, but you're clear at the end. You're like, guys, this is how we roll around here. These are our values in this company. So I'm supporting you to work this out, but in what? In a week, 2 weeks, I don't need to see this again. And if I see this behavior continuing after
So
again,
that's more intuitive. You know when this is...
Yes.
So maybe they cross a line or it just gets in. It's not working.
That's it.
It's not working.
And as you do that, please document. Keep writing. Yeah, because you don't want to get into trouble.
So you have memos, you have... So
Yes.
you need to... You don't just arbitrarily just get up.
No.
Of course, there are some offenses that you know. Theft, abuse.
Sure.
But you're saying that if it has to do with people's fit,
yes,
you have to...
Exactly. Document. Show that you've coached. Show that you've tried. But it has to end at a certain point if it's
And I actually feel like, sometimes when you do it well, the person actually will thank you. Because there are instances where this person doesn't fit into this organization.
Totally.
But they feel like they have to work here because that's the only opportunity they have.
Yes.
If you do it properly, one day they'll come back and say, look, it was very good you fired me because it helped me rethink.
Yes.
So I think that's a very important process that should not be mismanaged. Of course, you can't cuddle people throughout, but you have to. Anyway, so this is point number 4. Coach them well to play together.
Yes.
And then, of course, communication is critical.
Yes, communication is critical. We've talked about clear values and expectations for all of them, yeah? Let me come to the last one.
Yeah.
It's something you've alluded to. It's creating a conducive environment for them to thrive. And let me give you an example. I worked with a team leader once who, she had an absolutely amazing team, collaborating fantastically. But they worked in a bigger company that was literally cutthroat, competitive, toxic, undermined. So each time the team would try and do things differently, they'd get back into the bigger, company atmosphere, and they'd be like, nah, this is not working. Yeah? The other thing that they would also see is that, just what you alluded to, you're saying, as leaders, you have to set the tone for what needs to happen within other teams. So we talked about breaking silos. So having different departments start to work with each other. If they can see that within the senior management team, they are not working together, they are not a team, why do you expect that the different... Exactly. Yeah? So the conducive environment means, one, you model it right from the top, but the broader organizational culture has to be one that's collaborative and rewards collaboration. It's not rewarding the divas, what did you call them, the ones who are always the prima donnas. If people start to see that that's what's rewarded in the organization, and collaboration is seen as, you are a wuss, why are you even doing that, who cares about that, then they won't do that. So it's create an enabling environment for that to happen. Provide resources for the team to succeed, coach them, all of that. So that's the final principle.
So there's a responsibility on leadership, not just the atmosphere, but also the resource.
That's it.
The resources for them to work.
make sure that they thrive. Otherwise, they get frustrated. And they're like, what's even the point? So again, perfect example. You put a team together to organize the staff retreat. You give them no resources, no time, no backing. They'll be like, what's the point? We can't even do this thing well. It's just going to be a failed achievement. So that's the kind of resourcing and support teams.
So you're giving me 5 bullet points for building winning teams. So we can just go through for those who tune in late or those who have not been following.
So number 1, get the right people on the bus. Select the right people to be part of the team. Don't just look for expertise and skills. Also look for the right fit in terms of attitude and values. Number 2, get the right people in the right seats. Make sure people are playing to their strengths. They're in the right roles. Number 3, focus on collective results. Don't just appraise people on their individual compliment, by ensuring they're praised against team collaboration and achieving things collectively. 4, coach them to play well together, particularly paying attention to things like conflict. And 5, create a conducive environment for them to thrive.
So to end, of all the things a company has, from the idea itself to its physical resources to the product and to its people, would you seriously say that the people are the most important resource?
100%.
You don't even blink an eye?
I don't even blink an eye. Blink an eye. It's all about your people. It is all about
irrespective
your
of the
people.
industry.
Well, no, it depends on the industry. No, for sure. I mean, if your thing is about selling widgets, then maybe it's about the quality of your widgets, but you still need people to sell them.
But generally, you
put them
say
central. They should always be
people,
central. And so that's why, to me, leadership is about people.
My reflection, I was talking to the team last week, and it just occurred to me that of all the resources of a company, people are the only resource that appreciates. And I was saying that, for example, if you bought a car, or you built a studio, or you bought a camera, as soon as you buy it, it begins to depreciate.
That's powerful.
But the only thing that, so you could pick somebody who started out as a security guy, you train him to do floor management, now he's a camera guy, he's a director. Wow. So in 10 years, you've added value to the person.
Wow.
So I was like, if human beings are the most important resource, they basically means they are the ones that can appreciate in value.
But the key word is they can.
If you
do the right thing, if you have the right leadership, like you have done.
Yes.
But I have walked into companies. It's not easy, I know.
We try.
But you walk into companies and people have depreciated.
That is funny, because for me, I would have said that if you are in a company that's not adding value to you, you have to leave.
But you know the reality of the economy. People will always say, but
if you are not growing in an organization, then you have to have an exit plan.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So because my personal view is that there's always somewhere that you will thrive.
For sure.
And the point is that you may not always start from there.
Sure.
So you could be in an organization that has nothing to do with your skill sets, but there are a few things you have to learn.
Sure.
So you can still give off your best.
Sure. And you can still be willing to learn and look for opportunities. Yeah. Because to me, progression and appreciation is not necessarily about always moving up. Because with SMEs, we're fairly flat.
Yeah.
How many levels can you actually move up? But if you're learning new things, if you're gaining exposure, if you're not the same person you were 5 years ago, then you can say you've appreciated.
I set out to interview you, but it looks like you've interviewed me.
Yes, I have. It's always a joy.
That was your plan.
That was my plan.
Anyway, it's a good idea, because sometimes in discussions, more insights come up. Yes. I've been talking to Taka Awori of Busa Africa. Before you go, though, how can people get in touch with you? What's your website? How can people reach you?
So it's busara-africa.com. And do connect with me also on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, all using my name.
So that's TAAKA Awori.
Yes.
And Busara, BUSARA, Africa.
Africa.
Dash is very important.
Africa.com.
Wonderful. Thank you for listening to another edition of the show. My name is Bernard.
The conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 125 grams Abina sardine in vegetable oil, only 8 cedis, 49 pence worth, and 340 grams Lily corned beef, just 47 cedis, 99 pence worth. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 9th July. Only at ShopRite.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This is Ghana Exhibition 2023. Citi TV and Citi FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This is Ghana exhibition is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before? Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you don't use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you don't use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back. Into your Vodafone cash account. We'll reload here, but then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome on board to the Friday edition of Kickoff, proudly brought to you by Shell and Lesher. Coming up this morning, it's match day for the Black Lights all the way in Cote d'Ivoire. That's the WAFU Zone B Cup of Nations. Also, we've got some transfer updates for you right here on Kickoff. All right, my name is Gabby Ofen. Let's head to Cote d'Ivoire first because it's match day for the Black Lights at the WAFU Zone B Boys Cup of Nations. Coach Samuel Boy's side will take on Niger later tonight at 6 p.m. whilst the Ivorians are up against Burkina Faso. Togo and Benin are the two teams in Group B after Nigeria withdrew from the tournament. So all the best to Ghana's U20 team and Cote d'Ivoire. Away from that, chairman of the local organizing committee for the 2023 All-Africa Games, Dr. Kweku Ofosu-Asare says the government of Ghana has done a good job in terms of funding to make sure the country is ready to host the tournament. Now, with the aid of the government of Ghana, construction of an ultra-modern sports complex in Baltimore is taking shape with renovation works being done at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium as well as some halls on campus. Now, with the games 9 months away, Dr. Ofosu-Asare says the government is deeply invested in ensuring that Ghana hosts the best African Games ever.
At least government has done its part. I mean, if you go to Boteman right now, work is seriously in progress, as you have seen over here. Everything spent here came from government coffers. And that is why I was appealing that we have to make sure that we can also promote the games in such a way that we can bring corporate bodies on board to complement what government is doing. I personally am so grateful to the President of the land, His Excellency Dankwa Akufo-Addo. His commitment and passion for these games, amazing. So the government of Ghana is so committed to doing these games. You know that since 1965, this is the first time we are getting the opportunity to host the games. The President has given us every assurance, despite the challenges we are having. COVID, what have you, Ukraine. I'm not a politician anyway. But what is going on recently, Elsewhere, I have spoken to so many African countries. Elsewhere, they would have pulled out. But our government is committed to getting things done. And we are hoping that we will host the games and to be one of the best ever in the history of the games.
All right, so that's Dr. Kweku Ofosu-Asare. He's the chairman for the local organizing committee for the 2023 African Games. That games will be hosted here in Ghana next year, March 8th. Yes, in that month. Away from that, the Ghana Football Association, they have confirmed that a scheduled elective congress will take place at the end of October 2023. Now, this announcement aims to address concerns raised about the current executive council led by President Keto Kweku potentially overstaying their mandate, which concludes this October. Now, the GFA Secretary, General Secretary Prosper Harrison-Ado released a letter yesterday assuring the public that the election committee has already engaged with clubs and is actively working on the necessary roadmap for the elections. These actions are in accordance with the regulations outlined in the GFA statutes. Additionally, the elections committee has also indicated that it requires the approved nomination fee, which will be determined during the ordinary Congress scheduled for Monday, July 10 in Kumasi before accepting nominations for the upcoming election. So that's in regards to that election coming up in October. Away from that, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has expressed his profound condolences to the Ghana football fraternity and family of the late Anat Seidu, that's the former Black Star striker. Now, the 1978 AFCON winner passed away on Saturday, July 1, 2023, in his hometown at Accra, Newtown. And together with Mohamed Polo, Peter Hammond, Mama Aqua, and Peter Lamte, his outstanding performances earned him a place in the Black Star squad that won the 1978 Africa Cup of Nations there. Now let's head to Old Trafford now, because England midfielder Mason Mount has provided insight into his departure from Chelsea to join Manchester United. He revealed that it became evident several months ago that he was not part of the Blues' long-term plans. Here's Mount speaking to Man United TV.
Several months ago, I think it became clear that I wasn't in Chelsea's plans moving forward, and once I knew that United were involved, it was my decision was made up. A massive club, huge, iconic players that have played here, and I wanted to be a part of that from the beginning, and obviously getting in early, ready for pre-season to start, was a main objective of mine as well. Been an amazing couple of days, obviously coming here, had the training ground, such a warm welcome. So yeah, feel very much at home already, yeah.
All right, so that's Manchester United's latest number 7 speaking, the Mason Mount in the red jersey next season. Wrapping up with some transfer stories, and Bayer Leverkusen have signed Granit Xhaka from Arsenal in a 21.4 million deal. The Swiss international departs after 7 years at the Gunners, where he made 297 appearances. And the midfielder had entered the final year of his contract at the Emirates Stadium and turns 31 in September. In Spain, former Chelsea captain Cesar Azpilicueta has also joined Atletico Madrid on a free transfer after 11 years at Stamford Bridge. The 33-year-old has signed a 1-year contract at the Spanish side. Jose Perez has also left Leicester on a free transfer to join Real Betis on a 4-year contract. Perez spent the second half of last season with the club based in Seville on loan from Leicester, and he was a free agent after the end of his contract with the East Midlands club. So that's in regards to some transfer updates. That's the latest for today on Kickoff. We've got more stories for you on our website, that's citysportsonline.com, and on Twitter at citysportsgh. We're back at 5 p.m. with Sports Flash. My name is Gabby Ofer. Take care of yourself and bye-bye.
Passengers, Mama me 2 minutes per ride. Neighbor Cecilia.
Oh, driver, you can't do this in London.
Oh, English, madam. We dear Miss 1 minute per ride.
Shell, driver, we're in a hurry, please. What's all this about?
Oh, madam, help me say thank you to Shell. Shell Fuel Save lasts longer and helps us to save more money to do more things. Also, because I'm a member of the Shell Club, I get loyalty points every time I buy fuels that I use to redeem gifts I love. I can get third-party insurance for my car, free medical insurance, provisions for my home, and many more. Shell day my side. In fact, when I see another Shell station, I will hug everyone there.
Hey, driver, what the fire kwanza?
Hey, English, madam.
Enjoy numerous benefits when you buy fuel from Shell. Get loyalty points to claim third-party car insurance, family medical cover, provisions, and many more for free. Driver, Shell day your side. Go well.
Let's go. If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, let's go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to let's go. No matter your situation, come to let's go. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey, let's go, hey, let's go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's go, we improve your life.
Leshego Savings and Loans. Let's improve life.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Home is your sanctuary. Home is a reflection of who you are, an extension of your inner being. Take your time, get it right. The furniture, the decor, the accessories, the lights. When it feels like you, it feels like home. Shop at Orca for the most variety of quality furniture and accessories to personalize your space and make your house a home. Visit the Orca Deco Superstore on Spinks Road today.
The Literacy Challenge is still on. Entries are trooping in from junior high school students across the country. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write a story that ends with the following statement. The happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July 2023 in mind. Submit entries to the front desk of Citi TV or Citi FM or post them to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. Submissions must include an endorsement by your parent or guardian and their full contact details. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV, supported by Citi FM, and is sponsored by the Ghana National Gas Company, Ribby Country Biscuits by M4 Foods, SIC Insurance PLC, and Prospectus Ghana Limited. And of course, terms and conditions apply.
My name is Nana McBrown. Many people think I get what I want anytime because I am popular. No, that is not true. It is because me and Kasano, I like the best, and when I find it, I stick to it. I have found Bell Pack Tea Roll, and I'm stuck with it. It is soft but not weak, strong but not hard. It is just perfect. Bell Pack Tea Roll is smooth and gentle on the skin. Same as Bell Pack Kitchen Towel. It cleans in one wipe. You can soak, squeeze, and clean again. One Bell Pack Kitchen Towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today and experience the perfect paper tissue. Say pocket tissue, table napkins, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. Bell Pack, just perfect.
To be a Bell Pack distributor, call 055-11-44400. Another quality product from Bell Aqua.
Doesn't feel so good like Bell Pack.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Mr. Chicky, what your boy? Yeah, Chicky.
Boy, boy, yeah. About was some boy, but he was a guy that he can put you. Even if I share what to be say, yo, me, I may get there. English and hot fat coach, and we in a chair of Hessie, so tap out there. Where they are this year, can't have a mysterious, no woman, friends who would your songs on the way. You trap, I've seen my what for John, the identity. What? Belgium, I know Mama Mika, Nagana Maria, Moya Sha, Nanima, Sigatu Nabasa, I want me to cry, Mitricasa, Massa, where you would car, a ban or your will, and you trouble me car, and who just also forget. I didn't know must move to Puchuku, Ubia, Wakase, Super, a day year cool. Be and told him Super Bubaka, who are you? Talk, Messia, the girl Boko, Tise Kosia, Akosia, and what year now? Oh, diet, Mamma phone separate, me 3 quarter, number quiet. Nina, 1 away. Middle, 1 away. I thought you were welcome, so tell me about it. I thought you were welcome, so tell me about it. I thought you were welcome, see them, or be so what you thought you were welcome, so tell me about it. I thought you were welcome, so tell me about it. Your friend of mine, I saw a like him in 9 a bet now. Yeah, we shot it to a club or a use to say what call the boy home to sit that too. If it's all about what you need, Yama too. What's it, hello, darling? Hello, then I'll be the empathy and I said, Banku. No P, you want to be a cool. Kwame Dama Bnan in the Niwama, the Canyon Manager, watching with the summer. The Nimbi was cycle, and Nimbi will be my was a big Kwan on any Bewoma, the Dukomu so Jack, Benumako womb, who are here will be bound warfare by your chief home, and he find that there, Batman and I said, go from
After 8, there's still the Citi Breakfast Show. Your messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Just gone by was Kickoff, the latest from the world of sport, brought to us by Shell. And Shell has introduced the Shell Helix HX3 20W50, the right multi-grade motor oil that meets the needs of commercial vehicles that run on petrol engines. Shell Helix HX3 20W50 contains additives that protect the engines of older vehicles while reducing maintenance costs. There's no substitute for good quality motor oil in your car. That's why you need Shell Helix HX3 20W50. Shell, designed for ultimate engine performance. Go well. Kickoff is also brought to us by Lecheho. The Shell Savings and Loans has been supporting the investment goals of its customers with attractive solutions. They've got great services like the fixed deposit account, and you can get products for 91 days, 182 days, and 365 days. Call them on 0577 707 700. The Shell Savings and Loans, a trusted haven for your investments. The Shell lets improve life. We have a few birthday messages coming in on the number 0549 986 996. The first one I'll say though is happy birthday to the big man at Tiger IPI. Anas Arimeyao.
Anas Arimeyao Anas.
It's his birthday today. So. Anas, wherever you are, happy birthday to you.
Anas Arimeyao Anas. You know, Anas is big man. Anas, Charlie, how be things? Everything correct for your side? No, Charlie, God bless you, man. No. This one is coming from all of us, including, all the brothers of the World Bank, training on investigative journalism with Professor Audrey Gajepo and the rest, moderating affairs. Yeah, and I tell you, you'll be big man, you'll be big man. And Sammy, Dako is also celebrating you this morning. So, Anna Chale, no, you be me, man. Yeah. And then also, let me celebrate my good friend, Listowell Kojo Fojo.
Okay.
Listowell Kojo Fojo of Adom FM. Chale, no, God will bless your efforts and will reward you greatly. The story behind how I eventually entered radio.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, it was a guy who was always on my neck. That Charlie, go do radio. Yeah. So the story will be fully told someday. Every time I will be laughing at them, but Charlie, maybe we do assignment. No, then the guy will be saying, it's here for this year, almost see, they say, Abutai Ben, Mr. Minister, Abutai Ben, Amudia in Shishamu. Is it Buta? Every time. They must see Katashi shedding project. The way you be delivering. Thank you for all the lights in Trotro together and everything. And I'm praying for you. I know you are on a new pursuit, and God will put His hands in that. Maulem and may God continue to bless you. Your story and mine will be told fully someday. Let me get more comments that have coming. This one says, "Happy birthday to Papa Ekohagen. May the good Lord continue to shower His blessings and favor upon you. We love you so much." It's coming in from Daddy, Mommy, Nana, and Ellie. This one says that please go back, yeah. A very golden Jubilee birthday celebration to Ajete Anand.
Yeah, Ajete Anand, the actor. He turns 50 today.
Apuchao?
Yeah.
He
turns 50 today.
These guys impacted influencers in many. Those days you'll be walking and you have some long towel stacked into your Togo jeans because you had seen it on television. No, Apucha, force for we. You destroyed our what do you call it? I say our youth or something like that. Charlie, no, happy birthday. 50 years. That's not an easy thing. Congratulations. This one says, "Good morning. Kindly help me wish my dearest husband, Senior Ochiame Kweku Menusafo of Gesops, a happy birthday. May the Lord strengthen his right hand and set him apart for his greatness. I'm so proud of the man he's become. I love him with all his craziness." It's coming in from the dearest wife, Mrs. Zenobia.
Oh,
Nana Safo.
Let me attach myself to this birthday wish from Madam Zenobia to Senior Chami. A proper amount for
powerful.
Yes. Also a proper small pan. Yeah, he went to Marty the Porridge and then went to Pempe College. So somebody I know from two schools.
Oh, great.
Formidable young man who's doing great things. So happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm attaching myself to Madam Zenobia's birthday wish.
Powerful.
Right.
And this one says, "Blessed morning, CBS. Please help me wish the best of friends, my wife and mother of my children, Ruth Ando, a special happy birthday. May the good Lord reward her with the best of life." It's coming in from Pastor Jacob Ernest Ando, who is listening to us from Dan Suman. And this one says, "Today is your birthday, Ruth, Auntie Efua Fiajo of GWAC on KNUST campus. Enjoy your new age gracefully." It's coming in from your sister who doesn't provide her name. And then this is a special one, which is coming in from Richmond, Kati Dagojo of Accra, to my wife and everything. Mawena Ami Deseu or Deseu. It says that if given the opportunity to count my blessings, I'll count you 1,000,000 times, because you are my answered prayer. Your presence in my life has a beautiful and calming effect on my heart and soul. Your loving nature and level of maturity makes me love you over and over and over and over again. As you celebrate a new beginning in your life today, just know that I will forever love and adore you. From myself and the kids, Mercedes and Curtis. Hey, Charlie, Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Yeah. We wish you a blessed birthday. You know the story around the Mercedes Benz, right? Apparently, it was somebody who bought, the brand and eventually developed it, and the name came to be.
Yeah. All right, a few more birthday messages. Happy birthday to Mr. Fretete of the Electoral Commission. The message is coming from Phoebe and your children, Cyril, Christabel, Chelsea, and Enoch. Happy birthday to Emily Gonyo, aka Mamanga Perez, who works at the Ghana Navy Communications Department at Bema Camp. Message is from Emmanuel, Osman Mause, and Abigail. Happy birthday to Very Reverend Dr. Isaac Ado Jr. of Mount Olivet Methodist Society in Dantuman. I'm sure Godfred knows that place very, very well. I have the best of the day from Nana Arba Arthur and Nana Akosia Bosumpra. Happy birthday to Edward Anamale, he's senior editor at Ghana Web. And happy birthday to Veronica Anom Daku, Area Corporate Affairs Rep for SNIT, Accra North Area. This one says, happy birthday, Elsie Kukwa Labiamwa from Ni Ogbami Tete. And this one says, happy birthday to my favorite cousin, Michael Avedewe Achagani, alias Aboki, of the Ghana Immigration Service. And it says, to more years and exponential growth. And the other part of the message says, the formula shall always be pito over dog meat. That's from our colleague Kaba Ataoge. It's his cousin's.
Ataoge.
So I don't know. Pito over dog meat. What a formula.
Over dog meat, so they will blow the two together.
I see.
Or they are choosing one over the other.
I don't even get that. Anyway, a few announcements.
Charlie, that be deadly combination, man. They be rough, man.
They go on.
No, I know that, Charlie. Have you gone to the Togo, Bonaboto people about this thing? No, when they are playing their football here in Accra, sometimes they use their elbows. Charlie, dog is a trophy. They say they be brutal. Yeah, meanwhile, some people have been complaining about cat and other things. Charlie, it's serious matter for the system. Yeah.
This one says, in keeping with the adage, that where your treasure is, there your heart is, FBN Bank is encouraging you to put your children on their way to financial independence awareness with the Kids First account designed for children of up to the age 12 to show them how exciting saving can be. For teenagers aged between 13 and 17, the Me First account helps them to embrace the culture of financial responsibility from a young age. With the Kids First account, your child of up to 12 years gets to enjoy memorable activities, while the Me First account affords teenagers the opportunity to learn all about money in fun ways. Find out more and call 0596 921 921 or visit any FBN Bank branch. Do leave a comment on their social media pages. Now, the way the thing they go, it be like you go day your desk keep. So guess what I have for you? Royal King Crackers made it easier for you to do more by adding extra crackers in each pack so you can chalk the hanger just a little longer. Royal King Cracker, take chalk your hanger. And make big savings. Sign on to the fantastic 4 Republic Bank Visa credit cards, Business Infinite, Addition or Classic. You can also win a staycation at Aqua Safari dinner for 2 and loads of consolation prizes in the Republic Bank Tap to Pay credit card promo reloaded. Promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. T's and C's apply. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. All right, just a final birthday. This one says happy birthday to Eunice Edujemfi of Fidelity Bank. The message is you are dearly loved and it's come through from Huberta. What's on our mind this morning? Parliament has been in the news this week. Parliament has been very, very busy. After the by-election at Asin North, they've had to do a lot of in-house work, a lot of deliberations, discussions, and they've had a bit of a run-in with the law. Now, earlier this week, guys, if we do a timeline of parliamentary events this week, we had James Jachikwesin swearing in. That was earlier in the week. He's back, into the house, or he's in the house technically now, properly so-called. He's there. And then you had the LGBTQ discussions, the anti-LGBTQ bill, and all the things, the back and forth, the debates on record, debates off record, and all of that. And then yesterday, you also had some MPs going to court because some minority MPs or MPs on the minority side going to support their colleagues who are facing one case or the other. And then the other one had to do with Parliament in its entirety getting some news from the Supreme Court concerning the law on, using cannabis or growing cannabis for industrial use and all of that. And so Parliament has been very, very, very busy. The latest one, like I said, happened to do with the Supreme Court's ruling on cannabis cultivation for industrial use. Now, that story is on citynewsroom.com. Ambrose Derry, he's the one who's being quoted. Now, the story says the government has said that the Supreme Court's ruling striking out provisions in the Narcotic Control Commission Act that allowed for the cultivation of certain kinds of cannabis for medicinal and industrial purposes is a serious error. Okay, the Supreme Court had earlier ruled in favor of an applicant who invoked the original jurisdiction of the Apex Court to strike the provision which was legislated in violation of Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution. A review application filed by the Office of the Attorney General was, however, dismissed in a 5-4 decision. So 5 voted in a certain direction, 4 voted in a certain direction. Now, while making a submission for an amendment of the Narcotic Control Commission Act, the Minister of Interior, Ambrose Derry, argued that the amendment bill does not seek to legalize the recreational use of cannabis, but to provide an avenue for the issuance of special licenses for cannabis production. So that's Ambrose Derry, who is disagreeing with the Supreme Court. So effectively, Richard, so what does it mean? Maybe let's put things into context for somebody who's hearing this for the first time. I'm sure they are wondering why we are even discussing this. So what does it mean? It means our Parliament passed something earlier and the Supreme Court has overturned it. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, so there was an amendment done earlier. And after the amendment was done, a lot of people started making applications to what's the name now? It's no longer NACOC. It's now
Narcotic Control Commission.
So it's now NACOC, right? Seeking licenses to be able to produce Indian hemp in commercial quantities for commercial purposes. In other words, for export. So this, strictly speaking, and we hope, would have been the ones that you don't smoke, the one you export for, people to be able to produce hair products, all kinds of things are produced from it. We are told that it can also be used for cancer and all kinds of things. Yes, so people started applying for it. Then a citizen of the Republic thought that how the bill came to be passed violated the Constitution, and that the Constitution requires that when you want to make a major policy shift with legislation in the form and manner the Parliament did, there needed to have been some serious engagement of the entirety of the legislative process, a serious discussion among Ghanaians. There ought to have been serious debate on the floor as to the positives and negatives of what Parliament was seeking to do.
and that did not happen. And so he took writ against the Attorney General and, of course, Parliament at the Supreme Court. And, of course, the Supreme Court decided that, yes, his case was valid, and then accordingly struck down the law. Because, as you do know, the Supreme Court has, under Article 2 combined with Article 130 of the Constitution, the authority to strike down legislations deemed to be inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution. So they struck it down. Now, there was an application for review, which review application was brought by the Attorney General. But then again, the Supreme Court reaffirmed its earlier decision. Basically, a review is sort of an appeal against a decision of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Of course, they could have changed their mind, but they did not. So they affirmed the earlier decision, and therefore the law, as we saw it passed, came to be invalidated by an order of the Supreme Court. Of course, the decision has drawn a lot of outrage from people within and outside Parliament who believe that this is a space that we can use to shore up, our employment numbers, a space we can use to shore up our foreign exchange earnings, because, marijuana, the right grade for commercial use, not recreational use, if we produce it in huge quantities, if we produce it in commercial quantities, we should be able to earn quite a lot of money to invest in this economy, to invest in the people of this country, to invest in new knowledge and all of that. The speaker has been one person who's spoken repeatedly about this matter. I remember attending an event he had with the press corps in Parliament, where he took issue with the Supreme Court for not at least seeking an audience with Parliament before coming to the decision that they came to. I think his point at the time was that they ought to have heard the Parliament side or sort of joined Parliament incorrectly. But the long and short of it is that he did not agree with the decision, and he made a point again yesterday that he thought that the Supreme Court got it wrong. So what the government is seeking to do through the minister responsible for the Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, is to have Parliament do the right thing. The provisions of Article 106 and related, practices and procedures require that when you want to pass a law like that, there has to be a memorandum, an explanatory memorandum. Forgive me, that's quite a lot, which would explain what exactly the position of the existing law is, what defects we have identified with the law presently, and how we seek to cure it with a new legislation. So that it's sort of like a SWOT analysis of the existing legislation and how intervening with a new legislation will cure the existing defects, provide for strengths and opportunities and all of that. So they want to engage that process properly now so that it will be gazetted as required. Of course, it's been gazetted already, I would imagine. It's now before Parliament laid, referred to the committee responsible for defense and interior. They will look at it. The speaker instructed them to bring a report within 7 days. So in 7 days' time, we would expect it's a single item, it's just one clause. So it's just one section that will be dealt with. So they will bring a report back to the House. It will be debated. I don't know when the committee is sitting, but I would imagine that people who are opposed to the idea of commercial farming of Bakwi in the country would go and make presentations before the committee, either opposing it or making a representation in one way or the other. A report will be brought to the House, and then a decision will be taken one way or the other. So basically, that is where we are. The question is, whether as a Ghanaian, you believe that we should do commercial production of a certain grade of Bekwi or Abosam Tower or marijuana.
I don't know why
or Joga in this country.
I don't know why.
That is the question.
It has that name, Abonsam Tower.
Yeah, that's right. the Nigerians call it Igbo. Yeah, I mean, you see, it's a very serious. No. You see, there are arguments for. Why are you laughing?
The names just crack me up. What do they mean by Abonsam Tower? Igbo words.
No, this is a very serious matter.
It is.
Yeah, it's a very because
we are just
look,
facetious.
how many times have we not sat here and reviewed stories of the police or the immigration service catching people or arresting people in many parts of this country, including the north, the Volta region, Greater Accra, all these places. People continue to be arrested every now and then. In fact, it is a frequent occurrence that the police or the immigration people or soldiers are arresting people. What we hear is that our climate, and because we are in the tropics, is that not correct? Is it a tropical?
Yes,
tropical
we
climate,
are.
And then our land, very fertile, and we have arguably the best grade of, Bekwi in the system. and the argument is that if we can leverage it, create a law that allows for commercial production of the highest possible grade for industrial use, and let me stress on that.
For industrial use.
Yes, not
recreational.
Yeah. The recreational use is where you are using it, you are smoking it, you are sniffing it, or you are burning it and inhaling, as some people do, or you are using it in your brownies, which a lot of people know about, or putting it in your drinks and all of that. Those are recruits.
I even heard stories of people putting it in their jollof.
So the distinction has to be drawn. But so people argue that we cannot tell the difference. That's the argument of people who are opposed to it. They say it will be difficult for the untrained eye without proper testing of the same to determine whether this one is commercially allowed by the law and that one is not allowed by the law. And I have not seen or heard a proper conversation around how we can deal with those issues. Because if, for instance, Kwame gets the license to produce in commercial quantities, the industrial grade one, and he goes to, say, Peki in the Volta region, where we are told, some of the locals, produce some. And he goes into producing what is allowed in law. And then alongside doing what is not allowed by law, right? I don't know. The experts would have to tell us whether it is possible by looking at the different plants, like the commercially allowed one or the legally, produced one and the illegally produced one, whether by merely looking at the leaves, you can tell the difference. I don't know. I am not an authority in the space. So people are raising issues because if we are not careful, we'll be doing Narcos season 3 or season 4.
So essentially, people are concerned about control.
Exactly.
And whether or not we can keep it ring-fenced, let me put it that way, so the excesses do not occur. But there are those who make the argument that, listen, this is an industry that has a lot of value. The global hemp, industrial hemp market size was estimated at some $4.74 billion in 2022. That's according to some research.
Mention the figure again.
$4.74 billion in 2022. And it's expected to grow at a compound annual rate of 17.1% from 2023 to 2030. We've seen some countries in the West go down this path of opening the space up for cannabis to be used in industry, or the industrial use of cannabis. Godfrey, what do you make of this? This debate has been there in the last few years. Should we allow? Should we not allow? Some people say we shouldn't because, hey, people will abuse. Some people say, look, we are in a modern era. There's money to be made as a country. So we should think about the law and fine-tune or contextualize it and see how much money we can make from this.
Well, the thing is, a lot of countries have sat down and realized that there is an economic opportunity in this. Some have also realized that it's a solution to a problem. So if you look at the unique case of Uruguay, for instance, and their focus on this basically realized that they were getting a bit of a problem because it was illegal. Crime levels were rising. So they said, look, we need to democratize this to solve this problem. So they went in a certain way. So their law is a bit different. I think a couple of other countries have also attempted to do things with this in different ways. Okay, because like most things, there's almost always room for abuse. All right? But there's also significant economic opportunity, which is where a lot of countries are looking at this from, and also from the fact that perhaps once removed from the dark, it will also reduce abuse levels in terms of use and whatnot. And the advocates for this have also expressed the fact that if education were a bit more deeper, we would realize that it's not just about a matter of, smoking herbs. It's about medicine. It's about materials for other items.
Fiber.
Okay. So there are a lot of other really important uses for this once you decide to use it properly. But the lean towards, people just smoke this as a narcotic is what seems to have caught their attention and seems to have driven the argument towards whether to legalize or not to legalize. I think it's good that we finally, after many years, even decided to confront this as a country. Because Ghana, normally we are very conservative about these things, but we finally decided to confront it. And Parliament took this on and decided to find ways of legalizing certain aspects, as Sky has explained. And again, here's the thing. We are looking at it in our own unique way. There isn't a template for all countries on this matter.
It's not one size fits all.
Yeah. So I think Parliament has decided to look at this in a certain way, alongside NACOC, to try and fix this. Now, NACOC would have input into why they want the law passed this way, and Parliament would also then look at it and say, okay, this makes sense, let's move it forward. I think Sky has explained the technicalities of what happened much better than I can. Yeah, that's his job. Okay. But for me, the most important thing is we are having the conversation. Parliament is willing to sit down and fix whatever it is, and then do its job, which is what one would expect of Parliament. So get this done, and then let's see how it is implemented, and then maybe do a gradual expansion of it, because whether you like it or not, there are parts of this country where this is a significant economic opportunity.
I see.
And once regulated and done properly, could transform lives in that part of the country. And obviously, if we're to look at usage numbers, that part of the country will not come into your top 10.
Where usage would mean recreational use, as it were.
Yes.
Okay.
Not recreational use, just the abuse of
Just
it.
the abuse. Okay,
Yes. Okay. But the thing is, it's a hard fight and a hard sell because of the reputation of marijuana in this country or cannabis in this country. And the fact that the perception is that if you smoke, you go mad and this and that. You know, there's proof of that, but there's also an exaggeration of, yes, of course, you know, and that has moved the conversation in that direction. So I'm just happy Parliament is doing what needs to be done to recognize that there is room for this. Societies evolve. Okay, societies evolve. So let's see where it goes.
Let's get to Parliament just to give some life to the discussion. And we'll listen to some voices from Parliament. But just a quick announcement before we head out. The Center for CSR West Africa and the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Godfrey's very good friends, are inviting all of us to the National Corporate Social Responsibility and Sustainability Conference 2023. It's happening at the Lancaster Hotel on Tuesday, 25th July. And the conference will bring together thought leaders from academia, regulatory agencies, international aid agencies, civil society, corporate organizations, and the media to network, partner, and discuss global best practices in CSR and sustainability. Now, there are network, business, matchmaking, speaking, sponsorship, and exhibition opportunities. To register or find out more, email us at centerforcsr@outlook.com or call 0533 487 747. Let's get to Parliament now and let's listen to some of the interactions on what we are discussing. You know, cannabis, whether or not we should go down the route of industrial use, and of course, like we said, Parliament's own response to the Supreme Court saying that it needs to look at the processes leading up to the law they passed concerning this, fix that, and then we can take a few steps forward.
Writ number J1/11/2021, dated 27 July 2022, unreported. Mr. Speaker, the shared majority decision declared Section 43 of Act 1019 as unconstitutional and null and void. Mr. Speaker, permit me to state that I respect the decision of the Supreme Court, but I do not agree with it. And Mr. Speaker, the reason that has been given is that that session had not been debated before this House when this House was passing the Narcotics Control Commission Act 2020 Act 1090. Mr. Speaker, when the Honorable Speaker of this House does state that a matter is for the consideration of this House, it is open for debate, and the debate is not only when opposing views are expressed. At the end of it, when there are no contrary views expressed, the Speaker then puts the question. And those who are in favor say aye, and those who are against say no, and they say the ayes have it. So consensus is part of the debate, and therefore it is wrong for the court to say that it was in violation of Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, it is also important at this juncture to say that this bill does not seek to legalize recreational use of cannabis. No. It seeks to allow the minister to issue a special license for cannabis that is produced to a certain specification, which is 0 THC. And Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, where you and I come from, there's a popular vegetable called bir. Bir has a higher THC than 0.3%. Yet, it's not toxic and does not set anybody acting in any ways that are unreasonable. Mr. Speaker, what we have, therefore, is that we are moving in tandem with a modern approach to the production of this cannabis to the specific specification for industrial and medicinal use. And that is a matter that actually has been adopted by a number of African countries, including South Africa, Lesotho, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Rwanda, and recently Zambia is pursuing. Mr. Speaker, we also have that it's a trend that gives economic benefits to the countries, and we have the trend now that $1 billion is out there, and countries like the United States, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, Argentina, and Peru have all identified and are going along to make sure they achieve what is useful. So, Mr. Speaker, to therefore say that Section 43 is unconstitutional because there was no debate was, in my humble opinion, a grievous error. But because we need to be in tandem with the international movement, and also that we consider this to be a public health issue, and the benefits of medicinal and industrial as well as economic value, this amendment is necessary to let us put back what has been, in my view, unanimously declared unconstitutional. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time, for now is to say that we want this amendment, and the amendment is going to introduce the Section 43 exactly the way it was. And for emphasis, I want to say that 2 says that for the avoidance of doubts, a license granted under subsection 1 shall not be cultivation of cannabis for recreational use. Mr. Speaker, I humbly submit.
I think the leadership of the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs and the Committee on Health are permitted to attend upon the meetings of this committee to make sure that the report captures all aspects or perspectives of the subject matter as we direct. And I believe, since it is just a section, the committee could present the report within 1 week. Within 1 week. It's a matter that is dear to my heart personally, and I think the country is losing a lot as a result of this decision. We need to work expeditiously to rectify the wrong. I hope that the 3 arms of government will work together and respect each other. In cases of doubt, it's important to consult the other arm before giving finality to whatever decision the other arm wants to take. And I don't think that is proper for the judiciary to, without knowing how we conduct our business here, really go into how we conduct the business and make such important decisions without consulting the House. That is improper. I have made this known to them, and I want this to be known publicly. This is for the benefit of the country. So please, committee, you are given 1 week to submit your report.
So those were excerpts of the interactions in Parliament on the legalization of cannabis. So it was essentially on the decision the Supreme Court gave, Richard. So essentially the Supreme Court is telling Parliament to go over its processes again and then what? Fix a few things.
The point the Supreme Court made was that, look, you pass this law without respect for the requirements of our Constitution. So what the authority they have is to strike it down, which is what? To kill it, delete it, remove it from the statutes. Like, it's no longer effective at law. So what Parliament is seeking to do is to restore the provision by observing the rules.
Okay.
You understand? So they now want to properly debate it. There will be contributions. The committee looks at it. It is back to, they will debate it, take it through the second reading, consideration stage, and then it will be passed. The question is whether the folks from the Christian community who took issue with the law when it was previously passed. And
really?
Oh yeah, there were people who
Christian community represented by who?
So the people who went to court. They have
as in institutions like Christian Council and
not in that frame.
So people who call themselves
that's right, and who
Christian,
who thought
Christian interest.
That's right. So who had issues with it? So the Supreme Court made a decision.
Charlie.
Now, the Supreme Court, having decided the matter, Parliament is taking a second look at the law. Of course, it does seem as though they will not change anything. They will just go, listen to people who have all kinds of views on it, put their views together, come back with a report. Parliament will consider the report, and then the decision will be made. Now, my difficulty, which I expressed earlier, see, the Constitution talks about separation of powers. The president heading the executive, they have their own role. The judiciary, they have their own role. And then the legislature, they also have their own role. Now, if you pass a law and the people given the wisdom and the power, the authority to adjudicate and decide one way or the other whether you did the right thing, say that, yes, you got it wrong. Please, this is not what the law requires you to do. All you have to do is to go and cure it. But I've heard very, serious things being said about the justices and the decision that was made. And with the greatest respect, I don't think that, members of Parliament should be speaking like that about a revered institution that has made a decision. Of course, you are entitled to criticize robustly decisions of the justices. But sometimes people take it overboard and say very personal things. I do not think that is right. And I'm not speaking about the specific individuals who we heard. I have heard other things said in the context of this matter by politicians and members of Parliament, and it is not the best. Let's respect the judiciary. You are also doing your bit. Go and do it. If it is consistent with the provisions of our Constitution, I'm sure the Supreme Court would uphold it. But you can guarantee that the people who say they have problems with this matter will be speaking in the coming days.
So where lies the problem?
Yeah. What did we have against?
There's a perception.
Yeah, I've already addressed that, but the law as is being passed is a very specific law. And deals with a very specific thing. Industrial use. Which is the point I made about
industrial and medicinal
there
use.
is no template for this. I will just run you through countries where cannabis is illegal and the forms in which it's illegal. Okay. If you give me just 1 minute on this. So
illegal, you say?
No, legal.
Legal, okay.
Yes. So if you go to Malta, they legalized recreational cannabis. They allow adults to carry up to 7 grams and grow up to 4 plants at home. If you go to the Netherlands in general and Amsterdam in particular, they've tolerated the use in their coffee shops since the 70s, but you cannot grow the plant. It can get there.
So you can go to a coffee shop.
Cultivation is illegal.
You can't grow it.
Yes.
So go to a coffee shop if you want to enjoy it there. And
in
go
Spain,
home.
you are allowed to grow it for private use at home, but selling the drug or smoking it in public is banned. If you come to the US, federal US law prohibits the cultivation, sale, and use of cannabis. But you have 18 states, including California, Washington, and the others, who have all legalized cannabis for recreational use this decade. If you recall, in I think 2022, President Joe Biden
there were a
pardoned
few
plenty of people who had been arrested for cannabis possession. In Canada, they became the second country in the world after Uruguay and the first G7 economy to allow the recreational use of cannabis. The legislation limits personal possession to 30 grams and 4 plants per household. Then you have the Uruguay situation that I spoke about. Uruguay became the first country in the world to legalize the production, distribution, and consumption in 2013. Residents can buy up to 40 grams a month from pharmacies, grow it themselves, or join clubs where members tend the plants together. In South Africa, their top court in 2018, that's the Supreme Court, ruled that private, personal cannabis used by adults was legal. So you realize that it's a mixed situation.
Like
everybody
said,
based on the country's situation and what they want to do. For me, the thing is this: there is an economic opportunity. I am happy that it has been recognized. I am happy that the institutions have found an avenue through which to begin ensuring that the country benefits from this global economic opportunity. The rest will come later. That is where I sit on this.
Sometimes your thoughts.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man.
Look for the Peter Tosh song.
Okay.
Come back.
Let's start with
it. A warning. Okay, see, again, I am looking at the economic space. In the year 2023,
this year
2023, the market, the cannabis market, the estimated value of the cannabis market in Africa alone is $7.1 billion. $7.1 billion. This is Africa.
Let me even give you some numbers. Now, the Africa Regional Hemp. Okay, so a 2019 report. Let's just go back a few years. A 2019 report by the Africa Regional Hemp Cannabis indicates that Africa's contribution to the cannabis global market amounted to 37.3 billion, which is 11% of the world's market.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so in different forms. I am talking about the intra-Africa production and trade. The value currently is $7.1 billion.
In the name of the after.
That's part of the things on the after trade list.
Now, this is Ghana, a country that is struggling for everything. We are so concerned about the moral issues that come with the use of hemp, as you know, the negative, the side effects that come with it. But look at every effort that we do in generating revenue through our natural resources in this country. Tell me which one doesn't have a negative. From mining. Look at what mining has done to us. So do we stop mining? No. Thing is, other African countries are making a kill out of this. Lesotho, first African country to open this thing for industrial use, is gleaning between 1.5 and 1.8 billion dollars a year from this thing. This is Lesotho. And we are sitting here, we are going back and forth. If the thing went to Supreme Court and they said that, look, not that we are against the spirit of what you're doing, but the procedure, is that correct? We are the Supreme Court. We are not your fans to come and clap for you. So go back, reorganize yourself, and maybe come again. We still haven't done it. Meanwhile, other countries are preparing.
Taking the lead.
You understand? And we should be prepared for the long haul. because we will start this thing someday. It will definitely happen.
we'll get there. You are sure of it?
Oh, we'll get there. The way we make war for this country, if you do it, then people will be mad. I ask myself, the Ghanaians who have traveled to these countries that have legalized marijuana, are they mad? Or they are mad that we don't know? So what I'm saying is that let's get serious as a country, because it's a clean source of revenue.
Yeah.
For an economy that is struggling, this is like a blank check for us. And so we have to rather quicken the processes in making sure that this thing is structured properly so that we be counted among the countries that export for industrial use. The only thing is, one day you will hear that the Western world will say that the grade coming from Ghana is low quality. The Ghana one is no good. All those things that they do, Ghana cocoa, something. Every day, once it's coming from Africa, they will find some small caveat. That's the problem. But if it's something that has to be on the banner like yesterday. And these are my thoughts, that we are wasting more money by delaying.
There's money to be made. We can't waste the little we have on...
The thing that, since we were kids, they said the thing is illegal. Every day people are smoking the thing. People are smoking the thing. Including the people who are supposed to do the rest.
Including the people who are supposed to...
Yes, uniformed people are also smoking marijuana. And when people are saying they don't like, they say they don't like. Oh, why?
But I have one concern, though, Samis. And I think it's an example that has been proven in other countries, you see, particularly with the understanding that this is an economic opportunity. And I spoke to you that we do know where this cultivation takes place in Ghana. A particular region dominates this. If you look at the industrial licensing of this, there has to be part of the consideration for benefits for the local growers. You see, because the opportunity to make this wealth, to tap into this 7.1 billion that Samens is talking about, cannot come and be taken up by the people at the top. So suddenly you have the licenses becoming like the first time,
commodity.
like SIM card in 1991.
Only rich people have.
You could buy a SIM card for 1 million Ghana cedis back in the day, if I recall. You needed 1 million Ghana cedis to buy a SIM card. You understand? So the people who are licensing it are the ones who make it very prohibitive. So the traditional grower from Sky's neighborhood, who has been doing this for 20 or 30 years and now has an opportunity to actually earn income, cannot afford this. So in this law that they are considering, we ask the parliamentarians particularly, and since we are now in the opening, the Volta Region Caucus in Parliament.
You feel they need to be very strong on this?
They need to be up on their feet because they are the region that stands to benefit the most if the industrial law goes through. Now, they should make sure that the law allows the traditional growers, the small growers, to benefit, that licensing fees are not pegged at $100,000. Where is Efo Kojovi on his 3-acre farm going to find $100,000 to get a license? Meanwhile, he's the one who grows it. But you and I can find $100,000 and suddenly we are rich men. Okay? So the Volta Caucus should look at this law carefully as it is being considered and ensure that the small growers as well are the ultimate beneficiaries. Because you see, Samuel spoke about mining. Look at all the mining communities. We are taking from them. All of them are poor.
Are very poor.
They have horrible roads. Yes. Takwa, Obuasi. Obuasi used to be good, no longer good.
And this morning, remember
all the other places.
The story you read in the newspaper where...
About the Oti region, Bereniasi.
Yes.
Who have sold their land for $5 per hectare. Oh, that means you are shocked. They are crying.
You are shocked. It was captured in the newspaper. So apparently they sold acres and acres of land to this company from
to a Cameroonian company.
and
now they are
the
struggling.
deal was a very bad deal. Somehow the farmers signed off the deal, and now they have to deal with the consequences.
So that is my only thought. Let us make sure that the law, as it is being passed now, also takes care of the small growers and we do not create a situation where it is only basically we are creating an industry for a certain group of people. That one too will bring problems. You see, because then what you suddenly realize is they will go underground again, which is what we do not want. We want this to be in the open. But if suddenly it becomes something that they are not benefiting from, then you start having smuggling, which is what for instance, we've done with our cocoa, where cocoa farmers are smuggling beans to markets where they think that they'll get better prices rather than here. And has led to BBC and the co going broke. Right? So those are my extra thoughts.
Yeah, but
on the matter.
The question of distinction, is it possible to actually address that? And I think people who are more informed on the possibility, if you look at the plans, by merely looking at them, prima facie, can you distinguish and say, oh, this one is legal, the other one is illegal?
Yes, those who grow it know what they are about.
Oh yeah,
you see, and then also, so if you
there are hybrid plants too.
Yes, and so when you go to, let's say you have 10 acres of weed farm, right, producing commercial, the ones that are commercially viable and are allowed in the country, and the same person who is doing that has a few acres of the illegal one tucked in there. How do you tell? How are you able to prevent that? You understand? So I get the point that the people who are opposed sort of are making.
That this thing is inevitable. It will happen.
So let's just.
It will happen. See, you take the cannabis indica, you take the sativa, and then the hybrid, and then whatever other ones. What I'm saying is that we will prescribe in whatever document we do what we can grow. But definitely, look, the other time I went to cover, we were doing a documentary in one of the communities in Accra. And we were there at 1 a.m. And now, this is Accra, where there was serious jamming going on. Now, young people, everybody happy. I was shocked to note that every table had cough mixture on their table. Cough mixture. I'm telling you, a particular brand I won't mention.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised.
So they were mixing it.
Cough mixture, energy drink, and other things. I hardly found anywhere that they had maybe a bottle of beer or. I'm like, what is it? A seminar? So, cough mixture.
Yeah.
Cough mixture. Why? So I asked, and it turns out that
it's a favorite.
That's the new favorite.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Going high with it.
Yes. It's always been a thing.
They mix cough mixture of a particular brand that I'm not going to mention to their energy drink and add something.
Some people mix it with Sprite.
So am I going to say that because of that we should ban cough mixture? I mean, somebody will find a certain use to the thing. But let's look at the overarching benefit to the country and work with that. Because the thing is, other countries are doing it and they are managing it. And when we go to those countries, we don't see everybody mad on the street. This is my point.
You see, so on that point, what I would suggest is that the MPs should consider imposing, subsequent to passing this legislation or together with the current legislation they are passing, there should be a clause in there which should impose a specific levy.
Okay.
Right?
More like a sin tax, right?
Exactly. So that if you are exporting it, every tonnage that is exported should have a certain tax on it, which tax will go into setting up, and the law should also set up a body that will be responsible. The money may be given to the psychiatry, blah, 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 blah people, so that we can have centers that can rehabilitate people.
Those who will unfortunately...
Exactly, because as we speak, of course, there's psychological hospital, wasn't it? Is it psychiatric hospital? Exactly. Yeah. These are the places that we take people to and all of that. We know how the state in which Pantang is. We know the state in which the Accra... Exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that if we are moving into this space, of course, there is always the risk that people will take advantage of this and be doing the illegal things. Now, once we are going to be making money from the export and then commercial, industrial use here in Ghana, let us find a way of making some money to create rehabilitation centers to support people who unfortunately fall victim to the abuse of the illegal ones. That way, I believe we can balance the scales in a way that is both economically viable and then socially viable as well, in my respectful view.
I just think that we are wasting time. See, there are so many things killing the youth today that we are not talking about.
Tramadol is one.
I mean, Tramadol is being given such a bad name that it doesn't deserve. Look, they are using all sorts of things. I'm telling you, normal pharmaceutical products that people are using and is killing people in this country. So I'm just saying that this one, where we are in civilization and the space of globalization, we should quickly go and revisit this matter so that we can pass the law, regulate it.
The regulation is important.
Yes, regulate it and live with it as is done everywhere else. You understand? If you look, the most religious countries in this world, you go there, you find drugs there.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's not belittle the benefits, the industrial benefits of. I mean, people are poor. It's a sin to be poor, but people are poor. People are starving. You understand?
And there's an opportunity for us as a country to make money.
So we should do what we have to do, but we'll do it quickly.
Send your messages on 0549 986 996.
Why are you playing this, bro?
You see, people are even using glue.
Oh, people are sniffing glue and things.
Yes. People are sniffing glue. Hafiz just sent me this, man. People say, boss, people are even using glue. Glue for what?
To get high.
To get high, yeah.
Charlie.
That's how bad they are hurting their lungs and, respiration.
So really, look, I just think that is a test for us to balance, the hunt for success versus supervision, monitoring, and regulation. And personally, I see it as a test we can pass as a country, or we should pass as a country.
You see, but that is the danger. You see, you go to many communities, the people are all drunk.
They are what?
They are all drunk.
Where?
There are communities in Ghana.
Everybody is drunk.
I'm telling you.
Oh, no. Ask her. Why are you giving us a bad name?
Because they distill the thing, like.
Oh, no. No.
Papa Sam.
There be that.
No, I won't mention that place.
There be that.
Because we are not able to regulate.
That's what I'm saying. That as no.
All drunk. No.
Whatever
Say
it
it
is.
again. I've lived in communities that they are drunkards. But Charlie, all drunk, they haven't seen some before. I live in a community where the bookman, you know bookman?
The man at the station.
The station bookman. The man. If you didn't know, if you didn't have a watch, you can use the time he gets drunk to set your time. Because the moment you see him drunk, you should know that it's 3 p.m.
Hey, let's go through some of the messages. Godfrey, can you help us with something?
Okay. Messages? Okay, so Salif from Kaswa says, a product that is not advertised yet has a very high demand cannot be underestimated.
Gary.
Good morning, Citi. The question is, what is the most abused substance in this country? Alcohol, 1. Cigarette, 2. 3. Tramadol. 4. Marijuana. Marijuana has more benefits, just like the palm tree and coconut. Also, there's cannabis in most of the products we import and consume already. Even for recreational usage, it is the less harmful that is damaging the country. After all, you eat better and heavy when you use marijuana. So, Kwesi Ajiman goes on to explain quite a bit of things. Good morning, Nathan. See, Ghana and Jamaica has the best quality weed. Every year in August, Italian cities host a festival called Festa di Fumo, Festival of Smoke. And it's all about products from marijuana. So you can get perfumes, soaps, honey, drinks, candies, etc. Ghana and Africa is sleeping on money. Everything in this world has side effects. So why banning only jar herbs? DJ Nyacha from Italy. And DJ Nature. Okay. Albert Terma says Nathan and team. There are different types of hemp and they can easily be distinguished.
Okay.
And one, he says, yes, we should contact an Ajiman. Yes, an Ajiman is president of HAG. He's been advocating significantly for this.
He has been.
What's HAG?
I think it's the Hemp Association of Ghana, yes.
Oh, I see.
No, Nana Ajay, man.
One Nana.
Richard from
formerly
Accra.
of City FM.
Richard from Accra says security is paramount in growing this. If care is not taking, farm boys who steal and sell for public use before you realize it's all over the place, like alcohol. Richard, actually, fair concern, but like I've been saying, it's not like people are not growing this thing in this country already. People have been growing it. They know what they are doing already.
People have been growing it for years.
And there are large farms of this, all beautifully legal.
Even in Accra here. Even in Accra. Greater Accra. Yes. Greater Accra here, people are growing. If you like.
Well, after you take weed.
If you like, use the beach road all the way to Kaswa and see. And see the flower-like substance.
Good morning, Nathan. Are we saying that all these years and with all the knowledge acquired, coupled with technological advancements, the only solution to this natural resource given to us by God is to destroy it? Okay, that's just a boy asking this.
About good scripture, why you skip the scripture?
For lack of knowledge, our people perish. George from Airport City says, we Ghanaians are stuck in the colonial and religious Pasco mindset. So we resist thinking without looking at the bigger picture. We resist things without looking at the bigger picture. Canada is making a lot of money from cannabis, and we gladly go to them to seek grants from the same money generated from the plants we are rejecting. Why is the cigarette legal while the box of this product clearly shows that the product poses a health risk? We need to think beyond and above. Charles from Tema says, using our economy as a yardstick for legalizing weed is dead in the water. Our problem in this country is space management, and citing examples of other countries, it's also dead in water. Their law enforcement works. How about us? Let's get our basics right first instead of compounding our problems. These are the thoughts of Charles. The enemy is not cannabis, it's crack and pharmaceutical drug abuse. That is another one. All right.
Warning. The Surgeon General warns. Cigarette smoking is dangerous. Dangerous. Hazard to your health. Does that mean anything to you? Them legalize marijuana. Right here in Jamaica, yeah. Them say it cure glaucoma, yeah. I'm an addiction doctor.
The city's biggest conversation.
So there'll be no more legalize marijuana.
960. Oh man. Anyway, standard water. They shouldn't do those things, Charlie. So wait. Look, we'll wait to see how all of this plays out. All of it. But I mean, some instances, eventually, inevitably, we'll get there. We'll get to a point where the law will make a consideration and we'll grow it industrially.
The people who abuse it, they are abusing it already. Even now that the thing has not been legalized.
And they are abusing it.
And if we legalize it, we'll get more money to resource the NACOP people properly.
Then they
do a better job to expand the control of NACOP and build an industry out of it. We are sitting here trying to build, assemble cars. And we are clapping for ourselves for assembling cars. You think that the white man will come and buy your car? The only thing that you can export is something that you produce here yourself.
Something they don't have.
They don't have.
Yeah.
Now we are sitting. Charlie, we should go and do that thing.
Hey, Standard Water has about 25 years of experience in providing you water. Now, they have sachet water, bottled water, dispenser mounted jar water, and customized water for all your occasions. Call Standard Water on 020 055 703 or 0547 334 385. And this ad is FDA approved. Old Mutual is 10 years old. Join them to celebrate a decade of greatness. Now, they have about 500 employees. They are doing great things. WhatsApp insurance and an annuity package. Call 0501 579 204. Visit oldmutual.com.gh for more info. Old Mutual do great things every day. Now, are you ready to feel the ecstasy of victory, the rush of a goal, or the goosebumps when the crowd sings together? If you are, get ready, because the new football season, and it feels more epic than ever. Only GoTV brings you all the La Liga and Serie A games, all the Premier League and UEFA games that matter. Get your GoTV decoder and 1 month super subscription for $249 CDs and enjoy all the great games because it be football overload. GoTV, love it. Let's do the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we've got more for you. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
My baby, my king, adore you.
Akusia, what do you want?
Baby, can you please send me...
Hey. Now is not the time to send you money.
Oh, baby. I just wanted you to send me your account details so I can send you some 10K for your upkeep.
Hey! Why? How?
My love, it's the Mega 6 Lotto I told you about last week. I chose 6 lucky numbers and I won.
You won?
Yeah.
Baby, I'm coming over.
This could be you by playing the Mega 6 Lotto. With only 49 numbers to choose from, the odds are always in your favor. Play with as little as 2 Ghana cedis for a chance to win millions of cedis every week. Dial *266# or visit mega6lotto.com to download our Android and iOS apps to make a mega impact on your life and the lives of others. Mega 6 Lotto. Mega winnings, mega impact. The Mega 6 Lotto is regulated and monitored by the NLA.
Hey, are you worried about your parties, weddings, hangouts, on what drink to enjoy for the celebration? Or you're worried about how to celebrate your friends and family during that special occasion? Bigo. Now that is Bigo! With Bigo, no wahala for the occasion. They made it for everyone to enjoy and have the ideal celebration. Bigo, the soft drinks that comes in 16 and 20 in a pack. Hey, Charlie, that is Bigo. A lot to go around in various packs. It's refreshing and good quality. Now that is Bigo. The taste is... Bigo. Another quality product from Twillium Industries Limited. This advert is FDA approved. Bigo.
Charlie, that be the sound you hear when things make hot. I'm sure this is not battery, just cash flow. Laja no D. It is safe to say we are all facing challenging times. We are all wondering how we are going to lighten our financial burdens. Nowhere cool. But don't worry, with a little help from your trusted bank, Societe Generale Ghana, be fine. Societe Generale Ghana is making all its customers happy with the Yatiso Loans promo. In fact, SG Ghana customers and even non-customers who are on the controller and accountant general payroll can enjoy access to our amazing discounted loans. Don't waste time. Get your loan today. Step into a branch or call 0302-214-314 to get the ball rolling. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promotion ends on 7th August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
You worry, just be happy.
Home is your sanctuary. Home is a reflection of who you are, an extension of your inner being. Take your time, get it right. The furniture, the decor, the accessories, the lights. When it feels like you, it feels like home. Shop at Orca for the most variety of quality furniture and accessories to personalize your space and make your house a home. Visit the Orca Deco Superstore on Spinks Road today.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo all-in-one for you. It's so milky, eh? I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids all-in-one. It's truly milky and rich in calcium. Milo, energy to go further.
This advert is FDA approved.
Are you looking for a university that will prepare you for the challenges of tomorrow? Look no further than Academic Citi University College. With a focus on innovation and experiential learning, you'll get hands-on experience in your field. Our world-class faculty will guide you every step of the way, and our collaborative approach to learning will prepare you for success in today's global economy. So if you are ready to make your mark on the world, Academic Citi University College is here to help you succeed. Apply now at our website www.act.edu.gh or call us on 059-403-0308. Academic Citi University College, educating future-ready leaders.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Yeah. The 12 for the money about come on my way. Go.
Obi Antone Coalition.
Wait.
Obi Antone Coalition. Obi Antone Coalition.
What else?
Body.
Huh?
Obi Antone Coalition.
Wait.
Obi Antone Coalition. Obi Antone Coalition.
Memma wo nipa bi embu abomfia. Ahopopro mo yanyina wo huntia. Oya wo time for jano manimvia. Yambu mu amunsi na bumpia.
Se wo pe mo anyo menyina edi. Nana nyame ni awakano ne bebe mo. Se wo ma usa swabi ponyina tutu. So my party don't lose God, can't walk home out everybody singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Make we sing, oh.
9:25. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Now, after inspiring you on the Voice Factory stage last week, our talented contestants will mount the stage to perform their renditions of your favorite pop songs this Saturday. From the catchy beats of chart-topping hits to the infectious melodies that get stuck in your head. We'll be bringing you a celebration of all things pop. All of that is happening this week on Voice Factory Season 5. Happening live on Citi TV between 6:30 and 8 p.m. Follow the prompts to vote for your favorite contestant via the short code *920*973#. You can also visit citytvonline.com/Voice Factory to vote. Voice Factory Season 5 is brought to you by Ebony Condoms, refreshed by Eddie's Pizza, official voting partner Nalo Solutions, refreshed by McBerry Twist Cupcake, sponsored by Copan Hospitality, inspired by Citi TV with support from 97.3 FM, City FM, Alisa Hotel, Linash Beauty Parlor, and Make Up Ghana.
Everybody singing hallelujah. Hallelujah.
9:26. Let me welcome our very good friends from Nalo Solutions. Now, they are the official voting partners of Voice Factory Season 5. So a lot of people here have heard about Nalo Solutions. Nobody, or not a lot of people, know what they do. I'm sure some people do. So to tell us a bit more about their lovely business and why they decided to be part of Voice Factory, let me welcome Mary Dixon. Mary Dixon is head of media and marketing. I also have Eko Mensah. He's head of corporate community and communications. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Citi Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
Great. Let's start from the very, very top. We'll get into our Voice Factory conversation a little later. But can you tell us a bit about Nalo Solutions? What do you guys do? You know, we know you are supporting us with the voting. So, like, you guys were counting. Okay, what do you guys do?
Okay, so Nalo Solutions is a mobile value-added services and a tech solutions provider. We specialize in bulk SMS, bulk emailing. We also do USSD and short code integrations. We also have our SmartCast application, which aids in voting. So basically, if you have a competition, the SmartCast can help you vote and also help in selection for whatever event it is.
I see. You guys are doing a lot. Have a lot on your plate. So kindly, which sectors are you selling all these services to?
Well, I mean, we deal in all sectors, because the focus of Nalo is to enhance the growth of businesses. And there are two factors that result in the growth of any business. That is data and the way you are able to use the data to be able to make decisions and to be able to enhance the growth of the business. So we help you organize your data, and we help you engage and be able to reach your target markets. So with data and automation, we are able to come in and give you the applications and the solutions you need. So really, we work in all sectors, all industries. And if any company out there, whether small business, big corporate, you want to ensure that your data is resulting in the growth that you're looking for and automate your process to ensure growth, you come to us, and efficiency. We are the people to speak with.
I see. So really, data is what you deal in, essentially.
Well, data and automation powered by technology.
Powered by tech.
Yes,
so that
in the most cost-effective way.
I see.
Yeah, because without automation, there is no efficiency, and if you really want sustainable growth, you need to be able to organize your data, engage your data, and be able to automate the process in a way. So, for instance, with our SMS and emails, reaching, engaging, and selling to your customers become easy and cheaper. Because now, with the data that you have, we always engage them. The best way to always get customers is from repeat business.
That's true.
Right, and word of mouth. So then we enable that process. And then if you want to build any platform or solution tailored to your particular problems or need, we are the people to also come to.
I see. So what are some of your most patronized services? I see you do different things. So what do people really like?
So I would say the bulk SMS. The bulk SMS cuts across all industries. So for instance, for a church, if they want to inform their congregation about a church service or an event, the SMS comes in handy. Also, we have the banks using our SMS a lot for notifications, alerts, and messages to inform their clients of outages and all. They use our SMS as well. We also have the insurance companies using our SMS services, so informing clients their premiums that they pay and any other information that they need to send out to them. So basically, the SMS is for communication. So any audience you want to reach, our SMS is the one to go.
I see. Wonderful. So somebody's listening, they may be a prospective client. How can they access your services?
nalosolutions.com. You Google Nalo Solutions. We can sell technology and not be everywhere.
Not be everywhere.
So, I mean, the most effective way is just Google Nalo. Nalo is an NALO solutions.com. And then when you Google, you see all our details and call us, and then we'll be more than happy to serve you.
I see. So all these services that you're putting out, what are some of the benefits that Ghanaians are getting, or how is your service benefiting Ghanaians?
One, like I told you, cost effectiveness, efficiency, sustainable growth, engaging your target markets, your stakeholders, and then, of course, making revenue and profits and job creation. Because when businesses grow, private sector grows, the economy grows, people get jobs, and then we are able to essentially help grow the economy. And when you keep your customers, stakeholders consistently informed, they are not suspicious. And, in the absence of information, everybody's negative.
People will
right?
find their own information.
So we avoid that and then make sure that communication is efficient, communication is consistent, and then you are able to really build a community. Because business has changed, all right? It's not just about business as usual. It's not just about getting clients. It's about how do you keep a dedicated community that are consistently buying into what you're doing. And then we help you to be able to consistently engage your people. So business growth and any other thing that you want to do with your business cost effectively.
Great. Let's talk about your relationship with Voice Factory. Why? I mean, you could have been in your office doing all your nice things. But I said, okay, why, how and why did you, why did you decide to sponsor Voice Factory?
Because it's been done by Citi TV.
Okay.
And then, of course, powered by Citi FM as well.
Thank you.
And why not? Why not? I mean, Nalo is a very forward-looking brand. Nalo is a brand that supports talent, young talents. Because when you come to Nalo, in fact, most of the heads of the various units we have came through internships, national service. It's just like the way Citi is, where people actually come here and then they grow. The most important part of every business is people. And even earlier, I had an interview with Taka that honestly, when you grow your people, they appreciate and the business appreciates. So looking at the Voice Factory, you're really looking at talent, how to unearth them, how to expose them, and how to give them the opportunity to actually get out there in a way that enhances the creative sector and then the industry, and also gives them the opportunity to come out, and probably do this full time. So then we coming in and making sure there's transparency in the voting process and all those things helps enhance, of course, puts value on the Voice Factory as well. So coming, it's just like a marriage that was meant to be. It was a win-win.
Once you heard the pitch, you said, hey, sign us up.
Of course. And associating with a brand like Citi is something that we're very proud of as well.
Thank you. I mean, it's just wonderful. You see, because for somebody who may not know what you guys do, and now that you've profiled your company, it kind of...
No, you've seen how efficient it works.
I've seen it.
You've seen how seamless it is. You've seen how user-friendly the interface is and everything. So, of course, with the best application, with the best brand, with the best voice competition in the country, why not? You need the best company to come on board.
Every box is
fits, yes.
It fits like a glove. So somebody's listening. You mentioned, your website, people can get info. So people can find details of how they can contact you?
Yes. I can share a number as well.
Okay.
So you can reach us on 0540 105 702.
Can you give us the number again?
0540 105 702.
Okay, 105 702.
And I forgot to mention, we work 24/7. So at any point in time,
oh, you work 24/7.
Once you reach out to us, there's someone ready to attend to you.
I see.
Yes.
Wow, you work 24/7. Yes. Well, I'm not too surprised. Tech support, so I can wake up at 1 a.m. and my bulk messaging is not working.
Right.
I mean, and we're also looking at, Nalo is a global company, because we work with technology, and technology is everywhere, and the different time zones, and sometimes you want to serve people outside your time zone. So we've created an environment where you're able to reach us, especially for tech support and any solutions that you want. So just give us a call.
I mean, how big is your company in terms of workforce? I'm just curious. How many people do you have?
Okay, so we have close to 60 people currently working with us. Yes.
60?
Close to 60.
I see.
Yes.
For a small business, that's a huge number.
Well, yes. Technology is big.
It is.
And that is one of the things that we are actually hoping that as a country, we'll focus on that, because it's one of those things that is like a level playing field for everybody, and it gives opportunity. And because we work with a young talent, of course, we are able to provide the opportunities they need to really explore and then give their best.
I'm happy you've mentioned that, because these days a lot of the conversation is around people getting into tech. And the genuine fear for some people is that all the spaces will get taken and they will not have a space for them. So I think what you're saying is reinforcing the fact tech is big enough to accommodate everybody. There's more room to accommodate everybody.
And I mean, sometimes the conversation around tech is as one side. We're talking about coding, we're talking about hard tech, but that's just technical. Every tech company has every other, talent. You have HR, you have marketing, you have... So it's not just about, if you don't code, you can't be in tech. No, there's so many. I mean...
So there are people from pure tech.
Yes.
There are people like in the middle, like the analysts.
It's a value chain.
And then there are
value chain. HR, accounting, analytics, all those things.
So we actually have a team dedicated to just managing our products. So they provide the product description. They see the products through till its completion.
I see.
So there are different
things. So tech is big and it can accommodate everybody.
And tech has the power of scale. You come up with one application and you can literally employ 100,000 people. I mean, there's literally no, except maybe the agri sector, which is even like very diversified. But then the tech is one of those sectors that, when properly done, can really create a lot of jobs, diversified, good jobs for a lot of people. So concentrating on it, and especially focusing on Nalo and helping us grow, is the right thing to do.
Right thing to do. Wonderful. Guys, thank you so much. I've been speaking to Mary Dixon, Head of Media and Marketing at Nalo Solutions, and Ecomen Science, Head of Corporate Community and Communications, also at Nalo Solutions. Guys, thank you so much for passing through. And thank you for partnering with us on Voice Factory. Listen, listeners, let me read out the short code again. *920 *973 #. When you send that message, the good people at Nalo Solutions, they compile all of that. And in the end, let us know who's staying, who's leaving, who's leading, and who's doing whatever it is.
But 1 minute, tell us the experience you've had with us.
Well, I think it's been seamless. I'm somebody who, first, I'll be very fascinated by just the front end. I just sit behind my TV and enjoy the numbers. But in the last few months, maybe because of my own interest in tech, I've been thinking about what happens in the back. And so I can imagine, at least from that perspective, everything seems very smooth to me. When I send the message, it works. When the numbers come up on TV, well represented, I think there are no issues.
It's Nalo.
It's Nalo Solutions. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll see more of your good work now that the Voice Factory is still going on. There's a lot more left. So for our listeners, you see a lot of the good work Nalo Solutions does. So please send that message, *920 *973 #. But if you want to speak to Nalo Solutions, you mentioned your website again, which is nalosolutions.com. And they gave a number 0540 105 702. Give them a call and they will provide the best tech support, the best mobile value added service that you need to help your business go up. Eko and Mary, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you too.
All right, all the best.
Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Let's do a few announcements before we head out. Now, the ECG is informing the general public that the company will embark on Operation Zero. And Operation Zero is a way, or the latest initiative, to get back all their money. If you owe ECG, please get ready to pay. Now, the Operation Zero will deploy ECG staff to the premises of customers to demand payment of outstanding bills. Staff will also take the opportunity to visit all households to capture consumers who are not in their database and bill them instantly via the ECG digital customer platform. ECG is pleading with customers who have not yet received their bills to pay on account to be credited accordingly. Operation Zero will be assisted by security agencies who will apprehend and prosecute customers who attempt to interfere with the exercise. ECG is also telling the public that the PRC's LI 2413 gives them full access to all their installations. Therefore, customers and the general public are being advised to cooperate with ECG to carry out their mandate. Help ECG serve you better. Now, your vehicle health finances offices buildings documents. Worry no more. Visit the 2023 insurance fair to be more informed and be spoilt for choice. Graphic Business, in collaboration with the Ghana Insurance Association, is organizing the National Insurance Fair 2023. Is opening on July 20 with some special industry supplements, and it will be interspersed with some relevant insurance pitch sessions over a 3-day period. The fair starts on Thursday, July 20 at the Accra Mall Food Court from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. This fair is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. Call 0242650449 or 0548019572 for further info.
Shiva.
9:42. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be wrapping up in about 18 minutes. Richard, there was something you wanted to...
Yeah. So, quite a number of people are celebrating their special day today.
Friday, the 7th of July.
Exactly. So, let me do this one for Cyril Ni Otu Evans Chinry. Today is his 9th birthday, and the daddy, the father, is wishing him all the very best and says, may you live to be successful in all you do. Cyril Ni Otu Evans Chinry. They are wishing you a happy 9th birthday, and this one is coming in from your father and the rest of the family. And then also, let me also celebrate my good friend Alfred Amatekwe. We were in Gimpa together. I just got wind of the fact that recently he was given the role properly so called to be a priest.
To be a priest?
Yeah, within the Methodist Church.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Alfred, my pastor, Papa, my reverend, I've been missing in action, but I'll enter appearance. Yes, I'll enter appearance. So, Alfred, congratulations. You have done this for a very long time, and finally, you have been set apart from the rest of, man. Congratulations, my brother. And I wish the Lord will use you to do impossible things in the life of man. Thank you. Meanwhile, comments are coming in.
Yeah, before you do that, just a quick birthday. This one says Angela Edu Jemfi of the UK. Happy birthday to you. It's coming from Osei Tutu Mamponting in the Ashanti region.
Okay, let's take some of your comments that have come in. This one says Komla from Spintex is my name, and I'm listening to you from Spintex. Ask Richard if he knows B Vegbe in the Volta region. And you suggest that quite some cultivation is done there. I know Gbivegbe, but I don't know what you are ascribing to them as what they do there. No, I don't know that. Nathan, I said with legalization, but just afraid with over or abuse of the holy herb, because my own nephew nearly went overboard using it together with some pharmaceutical, drugs and glue. On the other hand, I need it for my hair because I have dreadlocks. It's coming in from Dora. Oh, Dora, I see. You go with the natural. That's good. I like natural hair and locks. They look beautiful. Oh yeah. When you lock your hair, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Samens, you care for a partnership? I get everything necessary for work. Brothers are always looking for opportunity. Nathan, Ghana has not reached the economic standard of countries that you mentioned. We must expand the psychiatric hospitals if we legalize weed. That's coming in from Kweku here in Accra. Well, I made that point that, look, if it would seem that this thing will pass, I don't see how it will not pass. For some reason, the MPs don't seem to be opposed to it. So that's why I say that.
You feel that if they fulfill all quote unquote procedural righteousness.
Yeah, I doubt if people will stand in its way for some reason. So that's why I take the view that, look, there should be clauses in there which would empower the psychiatric hospitals with more money through taxation to actually support people who go into its abuse, not the one they want to create lawfully, the illegal one, so that they can take care of them. Because the state in which we find our mentally unstable people in the streets, roaming the streets and all of that, it's an eyesore. A city of this size and quality and kind shouldn't have that. We should have a better way of treating our mentally challenged.
It's a conversation we need to have.
Yes. So if indeed there's a connection, which the facts appear to suggest there is some connection, depending on how you abuse it, then we should actually invest in the infrastructure, the social systems and services that would support people who unfortunately abuse it. The herbs are for the healing of nations. Africa and Volta region are blessed. Samens, let's pass this law, and I promise you in 5 years, we'll be playing Oyamo Jatabiole on your network. Kofi Intema is not taking this matter kindly at all. Hello, City FM. Samens is really an old man. This cough mixture thing has been there for a long while now. Loads of Generation Z people, including ladies, are very much into it. It is cheaper to get high as compared to the other hard drugs on the mixture Samens was talking about. This coming in from Kwame in Dansoman. And this one says, it's very simple. Serious fines plus close down the farms if you are found planting non-approved version of cannabis. Is always cost-benefit analysis for any situation. The scale on the economic side of the benefit is so clear. That tax, the tax returns, if we collect them properly, can be used to support the fixing of any issues that come up in this country later. And this one says, hello, people. People are mad on our streets already. It is not due to cannabis use, but economic hardship. If the same cannabis is going to give us money, then it will rather be a solution to the mental issues that people have. This is coming in from Ben in Adenta. And there is another comment this time around. Is coming in from a listener who passed it on to someone to pass it on to us. And it says that the name is Chris Corte. So he writes a long one and says, on the cannabis discussion, we can't enforce our laws on illegal mining. i.e. Galamsey, and we think we can control the cultivation of cannabis by licensed entities when it is legalized, find out the structures in place in the countries where it has been legalized, and see if we are ready as a nation. When our children and students in our schools start growing them in small pots, hidden in corners for their own consumption, then I guess we would wake up. Too late by then. Economic benefits, yes. But what has gold, timber, oil, and cocoa transformed? Today, we have become a beggar nation in the midst of all these resources. So the problem is not the resources. Let's call the truth out. We can become the largest exporter of the commodity in the world and still continue begging if we don't change. And this is coming in from a listener known as Chris Quarty, who passed this on to our good friend Franklin Kujo, who sent it to us. And Franklin issues a caveat that I don't agree with him, though. Franklin Kujo, I know that you have some ancestral lands somewhere, you know.
We can discuss the matters.
We can discuss.
All right, this is the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we have a few things to do and we'll call it a morning. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Out of over 10 million Ghanaians employed, only 1.9 million are actively contributing to SNIT. For most people, their retirement plan is either their children or savings. What if your child is unable to care for you? Long life depletes your savings, or you suffer permanent disability. Financial support from loved ones in your old age is a blessing, but you should not rely solely on them. Whether you're a fashion designer, an online entrepreneur, a lawyer, or a business owner, today, life is good, but tomorrow may be different. Register with SNIT and sign up for SEED for old age pension, invalidity pension, and survivor's lump sum benefit for your nominated dependents. Take control of your future. Ayo Udachio, Fano Personal. Dial *711*9# to pay your contributions. Contact SNIT on 0302 611 622 or on socials at SNIT Ghana. SNIT, we deliver on our promise. T's and C's apply.
SSNIT. Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo all-in-one for you. It's so milky, eh? I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids all in one. It's truly milky and rich in calcium. Milo, energy to go further.
This advert is FDA approved.
If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our October 2023 intake. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Now we go live in 3, 2, 1.
Elta Tigo is now 80. It's okay, Abna. Say Eltalo, say Sadie. That you know simple cry. 80. Simple.
Tell your neighbor to tell a neighbor that your favorite telecommunication network, Airtel Tigo, is now 80. Simple. New name, but still provides you with affordable and reliable internet, clear calls, secure money services, and much more.
80. Life is simple.
Home is your sanctuary. Home is a reflection of who you are, an extension of your inner being. Take your time, get it right. The furniture, the decor, the accessories, the lights. When it feels like you, it feels like home. Shop at Orca for the most variety of quality furniture and accessories to personalize your space and make your house a home. Visit the Orca Deco Superstore on Spinks Road today.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Kill a cut, blood, kill a cut. Kill a cut, blood, kill a cut. Remix.
The power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Execution Entertainment. No hit. The remix of Rough Walk, Tiny, Lasso, Hammer. Majima Pakai, Nyadro, and Yetu and Yatai. Metebe, Mekaka Sapua, Abusufi, Yan Shampabua, Yanum, Osunachinia, Boa. Sanriaka, Sakrama Botra, when I am so. Abuakasia, Mimia Wudro, Monsu, Yancheme, Niadoku, Adokasahare Patapa, Musiaku, Masamwake, Free Tre, Cotitre, Adopa, the years Raman, Shefu, and once not the Obefa Mimua before, while Marini Kura, what in so, if we are seeing Yansheta once, what to do, yes, I go, yeah, be born, Bogo, my pompa, me to Pisco, or Petua, Misuana, and Musu, or Franca Jana. And Sam Paul of one of Ranaku, dear woman coming one, don't go where the man Sanko, wait, who can I walk and Pim do, Sauti, and Yabebu, no, yet I confirm a penny croco, Kajauti, Matraniatro, who did not come, a fair and wofro. Now, Jake Afadi Musu, whom be Betua Masasi, I was so, Kadi and Poco, Pumini, a Bamakoto, Fankai, Papani effect, who knows the same thing, and your affair. Where was me boo baby? A trail of high and shackle to get chair. We best here, pain, what's in the pain? Would he can't call to an old deep him? I'm not do a mafoon film. It's an hour some so I do what do you say? I am a boo coon for me whom up on so I'll become via him. And a dog, a best show. The second, a best him. But I told you, I told you, I thought I told you.
9:58. Your Henny remix. Sarkodie. Not Sarkodie, Bravo. Why does it Sarkodie? Hey, babe. Oh, Bravo intentional. Yeah. It's not Sarkodie. It's Bravo.
Whom be better, Massasia. What?
So it says, yeah. Some wind they can't blow.
Yeah, make the land shake.
And it will shake things.
And he said something there that Tade Manoni a Kluduna Kuku. He said it in a can. Which is, you don't keep the head when you have the head there. You don't wear your cap.
You don't put the cap on your knee. It's so high and shake to get chair.
Tamanoni day a Kluduna Kuku.
Anyway, let me read this one. Was a bit of a concern somebody sent earlier. It says a vehicle. It was sent to. It says a vehicle pulled down one of the electricity cables at Nana Krum Melcom last night. A number of houses have been left without power. Worst case is that there is power in the line, which could cause casualties if not managed. We have been around it directing school children to stay away since morning. We are pleading with the ECG to send technicians as soon as possible. So ECG, if you are listening, please check out the lines at Nana Chrome Melcom. See, this listener is saying that one of the lines or some lines got pulled up the power cable, the power post, as it were, or the thing. So, ECG, please check that. Anyway, that's our show for the morning. Many thanks for listening. It's another week of the Breakfast Show coming to an end. Richard, the last guy, was here with me.
Yep.
Godfred Akoto-Boafo was here. Samuel Latamensa was here. Caleb Kuda produced the show. Godfred Odun.
I'm off to look for a huge plot of land
to see if Bekui business can start. Bonzan Tower.
Once the Republic says it is okay, we'll do the lawful one.
Caleb is here with the news at 10.